Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape Film crew, we are live and in living color with another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. We have a great show that we're going to broadcast tonight as the viewership is increasing exponentially. I welcome each and every last one of you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with all of us today. And I want to say thank you for your viewership. I welcome you if this is your first time joining this channel live or even the replay of this live. I encourage you to please click on the like button and even feel free to share this video if you hear or see anything that captures your attention that provides you with the two objectives of this channel and this podcast, and that is to provide and offer education and entertainment so that it can reverberate all around the world here on the YouTube boxing community streets. I also want to welcome those of you who are detractors of mine, those of you that do not particularly agree with the things that I say, those of you that do not like me, those of you that have constantly, assiduously promoted negativity in my chat, in the comment section, and even personally. I welcome you as well. The great thing about YouTube is anybody can be on here. And that's what I love about it because we all come from all parts of the world. We represent so many different geographical locations. We all share one thing in common, though. Whether we agree, whether we disagree, whether we have the same perspectives, whether we differ in our perspectives, we have one thing in common, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. We're going to do our 10 watch check in. But before I do that, as the viewership is increasingly, no, that's not what I say. The viewership don't increasingly, well, the viewership does increasingly, it does increasingly um, build up as time progressed, but that's not what I wanted to say. I didn't want to repeat myself, but might as well, so what? Y'all know what I'm going to say. The viewership is increasing exponentially. We are going to have a great show today. We're going to talk about the business of boxing and, of course, the sport of boxing. And I know what you came here for. I know what you came here for. I'm going to give you what you came here for. I'm going to give you what you asked for. And the thing that you came here for the most, and the thing that you asked for the most is the truth. How do I know that? Because that's all you're going to get when I roll the tape on this channel. Oh, I also want to welcome each and every last one of you that are engaging in the chat. Those of you that have acknowledged me already, I welcome you. And I want to say this. I'm going to do this in the middle part of the segment, and that is to acknowledge the ladies. I don't want to do it just yet because when I acknowledge the ladies, fellas, don't be insecure, some of you. But the thing is, I got to put my Johnny Gill voice on when I do it. And so when more women come in, they have to be saluted, they have to be honored, they have to be welcomed properly. And y'all know I stop and interrupt my entire segment to do so for the ladies. Now, I want to recognize a man in the chat. He's here. I see his name. He is a guy, you might not hear me talk about him a lot because I don't see him as often as I used to. I know he has his own channel. He has great content. This man right here, y'all, one of the real ones. See, you know it's real when I speak on it. I don't speak on nobody that's fake. I only deal with the real. And you know a real one when you see one. You know a real one when you talk to one. And I'm talking about the guy who was one of three guys that basically made me famous on YouTube way before I started the channel. You've heard me say YSM Sports Media's name. You heard me say D-Town boxing name, but this other third guy, I've mentioned his name several times on this channel before. To all my new viewership, you might not know who I'm talking about. I have to give him a proper introduction. And this man right here is one of the real ones. I knew he was real when I first heard him. And the way I first heard this real one here, this man right here, is because my name was in the title on his channel. This is way before I even started a YouTube channel. This is way after YSM Sports Media had interviewed me, I think once or twice. And I'm talking about the guy that you see in the chat, the real Marlo TV. We welcome you, Marlo. Thank you for your viewership. Thank you for being in the chat, Marlo. You know we keep it all the way 100, all the way 1,000 wow on this channel. And I'm not going to stop doing that today. Salute to my guy, the real Marlo TV. When this live go off, go on there and subscribe to his channel if you haven't done so already. There's another content creator I wanted to acknowledge as well, and that's my guy. I just was on his channel, I think the other night. He asked me some good questions. We got to go help and support his channel. We got to help him get him monetized. He's a family member of this channel. That's my guy, BBO Boxing, is in the building. Y'all salute to my guy, BBO Boxing. And when this live is over and y'all finish subscribing to Real Marlo TV, go jump right on his channel, BBO Boxing, and go subscribe to him as well. We got to help him get monetized. Now, I know what you came here for. I know what you came here for. I didn't want to speak on it. No, I didn't want to speak on it. Not yet anyway. I was going to try to wait. But I got to speak on it now because there was a Netflix special. Yeah, there's a Netflix special that's been out since Tuesday. Yep. I don't have a thumbnail for it. I didn't create a thumbnail for it because they're not paying me to advertise or promote. But I will recommend each and every last one of y'all, when you get a chance, don't do it now. Please don't do it right now because I need your attention right now. I need your viewership right now. So don't do it right now. And plus, you still got to subscribe to 2 content creators channel who's my guys. So no, you can't do it now. But there's a documentary on Netflix. It just premiered Tuesday that just passed. And I saw it last night. I didn't get a chance to see it when it first came out, but I did see it last night. Stayed up basically all night watching it. And I was thoroughly impressed by this documentary. They did a wonderful job chronicling the life of Victor Conte. Y'all know who Victor Conte is. If you don't, you will learn more about who he is, his background, his expertise, and his knowledge of so many things that have transpired in the sport of boxing, in the sport of baseball, most notably, and even in the sport of track and field. He's the one that manufactured some performance-enhancing drugs, basically creatively, undetectably. He has done that. He has served time in federal prison. You'll see all of that on the documentary. I'm definitely not going to give them a free plug, but if they send me a check, I have no problem promoting it. Now, great piece of content, documentary. Oh, it is. I'm going to keep it 100. I call it real when it's real. That was a real documentary, man. Now, I know about Victor Conte, me personally. I've done research on him over 12 years ago. Of course, we know that 20 years ago, the Balco scandal occurred, and he was the mastermind of that, and also the leading defender of that federal case, where federal indictments to be exact, had came down on him and 3 other people who were not just administering performance enhancement drugs and steroids, but also distributing it. And even though he has served time in federal prison, I believe he served about 4 months, 85% of his time due to good behavior. But he still have the brand called Snack and ZMA, which he basically formed and created in about, I think, 1984. And obviously you see his snack and his ZMA products all over the world, all over the internet, as he sell those supplements and those products, and they are legal. Um, so yeah, when y'all get a chance, I don't want to tell the whole story, even though I knew most of what I've learned from the documentary last night. Here's the thing. I gotta say this because a friend of mine, he knows me over 30 years. He know me very well. Rodney Day, y'all seen him support this channel. He's a friend of mine's. I'm not, I want to just say this because he just commented something. I don't got these MFs believing anything, Rod. We got to call a spade, brother. The man is the founder of Snack, brother. That's not me getting somebody to believe something. That's everybody know who he is, Rod. That's all. That's all I'm saying. You know, we got to call a spade a spade. Now, the man may have changed his life around. We're not accusing anyone publicly of anything. We're just telling you who Victor Conti is. We're giving you his background. Okay? All right? We're going to get right into this. We're going to get right into it now. We are not going to do a town watch check-in today. All right? Roll the Tape Film Crew was here with me today. We got to call a spade, and we got to deal with what's real. Hold on for a minute. Let me do this now. I got to show my face. You know, when it's real, you got to show your face. Won't be an exception to that rule today. Now, let's get right into it. You know, I'm one of the most controversial content creators on YouTube. If you didn't know that by now, you ought to figure out how I became this controversial and why. And plus, I'm not the only controversial content creator. You got several controversial content creators, and we are necessary on YouTube. Now, let's get right into it. I just want to say something real quick. Public service announcement to everybody all across the world. Publicly speaking, there were people that have been texting my phone, have been DMing me, have been talking to me on the phone privately, have been in the chat, have been on this panel, and have even been in the comment section that you see below in the replay of this live. And you know what they said? I just want to clear the air, that's all. They said, Manager Marty, Victor Conti basically allows people to be endorsed by his product just through advertisements. In other words, this Manager Marty, there is no evidence that certain athletes are taking the supplements or being a part of his snack workout program, or as I call it, the snack program. Now, people were asking me about Terence Crawford, and I said publicly earlier this week and last week, and now I'm going to say it again today. For the people that was telling me that Victor Conti basically used athletes to endorse his product, to promote Snack, ZMA, and the other products that he sells, I want to say this. It is false. I'm going to say it again. And if you don't believe me, you don't got to take my word for it. I can roll the tape for you. I don't want to play too much of the audio because this is from Netflix. I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get copywritten and all that stuff that they do. If I play a small little excerpt, you can hear Victor Conti himself tell you. You can hear Tim Montgomery himself tell you. Because since you don't want to listen to me, I've been saying this for 2 weeks. Nobody want to listen. You go see the documentary, you're going to hear Victor and you're going to hear Tim Montgomery tell you straight up. In essence, anybody who's wearing snack t-shirts, snack paraphernalia, working out in Victor Conti's gym in California, they're not endorsing his product. They're also using it as well. Y'all didn't want to believe me. Now, some of y'all might not know what the snack system is. You might be new to this channel. You might be new to YouTube. You just might be new to the whole environment of performance enhancement supplements. I didn't say drugs. I said supplements because that's what snack is. These are legal supplements, and you don't have to take my word for it. Uh, this is what the snack system says online. I'm just using this as a reference so that we all can be on the same page with one another. Now, if you're listening to this podcast while you're driving or while you're doing something else and you can't see your screen, I'm going to read it to you. Just in case you might not know what the snack system does or is and what it offers. This is from Instagram. This is on the Snack Page's Instagram. This is all legal, ladies and gentlemen. All legal members of the jury. All legal members of the Roll the Tape film crew. And this is what Snack says on their Instagram page. Snack System. Victor Conti's sports nutrition company. Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. Let me read that again for the people in the back of the church. Victor Conti Sports Nutrition Company. Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. That's what snack is, if you don't know. Now, back to the point at hand. I done told y'all 2 weeks ago, right here on this podcast, over and over again, and most of you did not believe me. Some of you did believe me. The Roll the Tape film crew members, I know you believe me. But there were some people that did not believe me when I said that Terence Buck Crawford is with Victor Conti, and Terence Buck Crawford is not a paid spokesperson, just advertising snack on his boxing trunks with their logo. I told y'all that, and nobody believed. So when you see the documentary and you see how Victor Conti basically used the marketing ploy by allowing other athletes that he worked with in the past, from 1984 to 2003 when he was federally indicted, he did not use that marketing ploy for the athletes to just advertise for Snack and ZMA. It was because they were a part of the workout program, the strength and conditioning program. They were using the legal supplements that the chemist and Victor Conti manufactured and distributed. Now, unfortunately, there were PED drugs behind the scenes that was being administered and distributed as well. And you'll see all of that on the documentary if you don't know the history of Victor Conti. Now, let's deal with what we got to deal with today. Okay? Now, we're not talking about other fighters right now. We will get to them as well. But I'm just saying this about Crawford because people was in my panel as recently as the day before yesterday. People were in my chat. People was in the comments section. People was texting me on the phone, calling me on the phone, and DMing me, trying to convince me that Terence Buck Crawford was just a paid spokesperson for the snack program, that he was not using any of the supplements that you just read on your screen. And nobody's accusing nobody publicly. Nobody's doing that. I just wanted to set the foundation so we can discuss this. Okay? We have to talk about this. Okay? We have to. That's what's going on, and that's what we're doing on this channel in this segment today. Now, for those of you that didn't get the opportunity to see my thumbnail that I posted for this segment of the podcast, I'm going to play it back on your screen now. Call it Midnight Snack. Pun intended. Now, you see the picture right here. See, y'all keep calling me a Bud hater. Y'all keep saying I'm hating on Crawford. Y'all keep saying that I'm making stuff up. I'm not. I'm just looking at this picture right here. What's wrong with me making the observation? What's wrong with me educating you all? You all were wrong. And so what I'm doing is I'm shedding education to make things right so that you can understand what's going on. Okay? Now, this is Terence Crawford on your screen. Victor Conti's in the middle, and then Devin Haney. They're wearing shirts that have the word snack on it. Why? Not because they're paid advertisers. It's because they are using the supplements. They are working out in Victor Conti's gym. And they are on a strength and conditioning schedule with the mastermind himself, Victor Conti. That's not an opinion. That is a fact. See, you keep on saying that I'm implying something. What am I implying? Don't you see Crawford in the picture? Don't you see Victor Conti in the picture? Don't you see Devin Haney in the picture? Now, where did I get this picture from? This picture was just posted the day before yesterday on Snack's Instagram page. What are we talking about here, y'all? See, what I notice is y'all don't want it, some of y'all, not all of you, y'all know who I'm talking to, don't want to deal with the realities of the fact that Terence Crawford used a workout regimen in the fight with Spence. There's nothing wrong with getting the strength and conditioning coach, y'all. I'm just saying. Y'all were telling me that the man was just a paid spokesman. He was just using Victor Conti's logo on his boxing trunks for money because he was advertising for him. Y'all were wrong. Y'all wrong. Okay, I can respect y'all saying I'm hating. I don't know how y'all can process me hating. I'm just showing y'all when y'all was saying that I didn't know what I was talking about. So what I'm saying is that the fighters that have snack on their trunks and they wear the snack t-shirts and the snack paraphernalia, they are a part of the regimen and the workout strength and conditioning program of Victor Conti. That's not an opinion, that is a fact. It don't matter if you agree or disagree. These are the facts at hand. This picture was taken in Victor Conti's gym. You have to take my word for it. You see snack paraphernalia right in the over the left shoulder of Devin Haney. There's snack logo right in the corner on the corner pads. And there's Terence Crawford wearing hand wraps. He's sweating. This is an old picture. Obviously, his hair's cut. You see Devin Haney. Either he's about to work out or he just got finished working out. And you see Victor Conti taking a picture in the middle of both of these guys. I mean, what's the issue here? That's all I'm saying. What's the problem? Salute to my guy, Rodney Day says, roll the MF tape. Thank you, Rod, for your contribution and your support to the channel. I know that there's going to be more contributions to this channel moving forward in this segment today. So I want to thank each and every last one of you in advance for your financial contribution to be able to help me improve the visual and audio quality of the content, and also in exchange for the time that I invest in educating you all and providing you with education. Now, I'm just saying, y'all, this is what we see here in this picture. We just see Terence Crawford, we see Victor Conti, and we see Devin Haney. What am I publicly implying? Nothing. I'm not publicly implying anything. You understand what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, you know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Let's do this. I know what we're going to do because I see what's happening now. Yep, this is what we're going to do now. See, I usually try to wait to warm up so the audience can be here. The viewership can increase exponentially. So we're going to do this. I flew the kite in the chat. That's how we're going to do that. Yeah, I flew the kite right in the chat. That's where we at right now. Because it seems like people in the chat got some questions for me. This not for you, Greg Quarterbomb. Not for you. Hold on, Greg. Not for you. That chat's for anybody want to ask me a question. Make a comment or something. Because I see it's a lot of engagement going on. And I'm not going to spend this whole segment reading comments because they're going by so fast. You guys are doing a wonderful job in the chat engaging. But the link's in the description, though. It's in the chat. I flew the kite out there. Let's do this the right way now. Yeah, we can have a dialogue over it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Because we need answers. And it sounds like people want answers. That's what it sounds like to me. So, link is in the chat, though. So, the link is pinned to the top of the chat now. The link is pinned to the top of the chat now. Just want to put that out there real quick. Tashi, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Thank you, Tashi. Tashi says, thank you, Marty, for talking about this because there's a lot of people that's turning a blind eye to the truth. Thank you so much, Tashi, once again for your support as always. And we're here now. I mean, I want to know what the problem is. What is the problem with Terence Crawford using Victor Conti as his strength and conditioning coach? What's the problem with that? What's wrong with that? Because it sounds like to me, y'all have a problem with somebody talking about that. Like, what's the problem? I got 3 people in the background, backstage, here with me right now. I'm going to let these guys on, but before I let anybody on, Herb, not you, I see you, but Cash and Fly, I'm going to definitely need, y'all already know how I work at this point. Please show your face. Turn your camera on right now if you can so I can see you, Cash, and then Fly. And then, of course, I'll let you on to the broadcast. Just want to make sure there's no trolls. We can have a mature dialogue. The audience is here. The viewership is increasing exponentially as I'm talking about it. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. And I'm going to let Cash on. I believe Cash was on here before. If I'm not mistaken, he was on the panel before. So we're going to let Cash on. Cash is coming on right now. And I'll let the other guys on as well. Cash, how you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. What's good? What's good?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. Glad to have you back. You were on the panel probably a few months ago before, and I appreciate your viewership and you coming back. What's going on, brother?
Oh, nothing, man. Just stumbled across your page again. I be checking in on you, man, seeing what you got going on, and of course, you back on some crazy stuff. You feel me? So I just want to ask you a simple question, Because, like I told you last time we chatted, I said you real smart. You real cerebral. You know what you be doing. So what are you implying? Can you just say what you're implying? So we can all just get to the nitty gritty.
What am I implying about what? Just ask me what
Bud,
you want to ask me, sir.
Bud Crawford
What am
being
I
on
implying about what?
Bud Crawford being a snack endorsing snack. What are you implying? Are you implying that he's possibly using performance enhancement drugs?
Let me tell you what I'm implying. I'm implying that Terrence Bud Crawford is not endorsing snack, that he's on the snack program. That's what I'm implying because
Okay.
that's the truth. Because that's the truth. Do you have a problem with Terrence Crawford being on the snack program with Victor Conti?
Nah, under no circumstances.
Oh, okay. So what the
I
problem
don't
is
have a
then?
problem with.
What
I don't have a
problem?
problem with him being on it. Demetrius Andre, Jaron Boots Ennis, Daniel Jacobs, Bam Rodriguez, Sergey Lipinets. Like I can name over 50 fighters that's on it. And your guy that's from Philly, Jaron Boots Ennis, is
Yes.
also on that program. So can we
Yes.
talk about Jaron Boots Ennis?
We can
He
talk about
got
anybody.
28 knockouts, 32 fights. I mean,
Yeah,
the
we can
snack is
talk.
doing some great things for Jaron Boots Ennis, ain't it?
Oh, it looks like the snack program is benefiting a lot of people that's on it. And that's one of the reasons why, if you were on my channel a few days ago and last week, that's one of the reasons why I recommend that Errol Spence go be on the snack program as well.
Yeah, but I don't think the snack is go keep it. I don't think the snack is go.
Your your phone was going in
I
and
don't think
out.
snack
Say
is
that
go.
again.
It ain't going.
Your your
Can you
your
hear me now?
phone is going in. Your phone was going in and out. You said the snack. Uh, Say that again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. No, I was saying I don't think the snack program will be able to help Errol Spence keep his head off the center line. I don't think the snack program will be able to help Spence fight off his back foot. You know, I don't think the snack program will help him be successful against a counterpuncher of the caliber of Terence Bud Crawford. But hey, to each his own.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're a Crawford fan though, right?
I'm a boxing fan. I'm a fan of Spence. I think Spence beat everybody else but Crawford. I've said that since day one. I think Spence
You
go up
came
to
on
154 and he's already the best super welterweight.
Cash. Let's keep it 100 with each other, brother. You're an honest guy. You came on the panel
Yes.
before. You did say you were a fan of boxing, but then you finally admitted that you were a Crawford fan the last time. I'm asking you that again, and you're giving me a different answer. Are you a Crawford fan?
I'm giving you the same answer. I'm a boxing fan, so by default, I am also a fan of Terence Bud Crawford because he is the best fighter in the world. So by default, yes, I'm a fan of Crawford, but I'm also a fan of Errol Spence. That's the difference
By
between me
default.
and you and a lot of the people in your comment section. I support Spence. I support Crawford. I just think Bud is the best fighter in the world. I've always said
That's
it.
cool with me. I don't say I got you. I don't see why you say the difference between me. You're including me in the you're including me with the people that are in the chat. You never heard me say I'm a fan of not one boxer.
You said what?
I'm
I
a
didn't hear
I'm
you.
a fan of I'm a fan of all the boxers.
Yeah, but
I'm a fan of all the boxers.
you
Huh?
also you also I want to choose my words wisely. You also have a way of slandering a particular boxer who, and I feel like
No, sir.
if you love boxing, you of all people shouldn't slander the one boxer who is literally one of the best boxers today. Let me ask you a question. Do you think
Before you
Terence
ask me a
Crawford?
question, before you ask me a question, may I defend my honor? Thank you. You said I'm slandering. I've never
Yeah,
publicly slandered not one fighter on YouTube. Not once.
okay. You, I think it's a form of slander, and I'm gonna tell you why. Bud just had the best fight of his career. Will you agree with that? Yes or no?
Did Bud do what at the gym? I mean, what you say?
He had He had the best fight of his career. Would you agree with that?
Yes. You mean against Spence?
Yeah, against Errol Spence.
Oh yeah, I've never seen Bud like that, and neither have you either. You haven't seen him perform that well either. So I agree
I've
with
seen
you.
him.
Yeah.
I've seen him perform like that. I just think it's just the fact that it's Errol Spence, so a lot of people look at it differently. But I've
Cash,
seen him
let's
perform
be
like that.
Cash. Let's be honest. You've seen Terence Crawford knock someone down with a jab.
I can't say off the top of my head, but he didn't knock no
It's
one
just a
down with
yes
a
or
jab
no.
though.
It's
But
just a
no,
yes or no. I ask easy questions.
but that wasn't true though. He didn't knock nobody down with a jab. It was a 2-1. That wasn't a jab. That was a 2-1, and he leaned into it. A jab is one punch
What is
straight.
the okay? You said two
He threw two
one.
punches.
Oh, you
He
said
threw
two
two
one.
punches.
Hold,
He hit
hold,
him with
hold,
two
hold on for a minute.
punches.
Hold on for a minute, Cash. What is a 2-1 in boxing?
It's a jab, but it was two. It was two punches. It
That's
was two
not what you.
punches though.
Okay, hold up, Cash. I see you being slick, Cash. You
Now I see
being
you.
real
What
slick,
you
Cash.
do?
I
What
see
you
you, Cash.
do? Hey, what you do? And I watch you a lot now. Like I'm this close to subscribing. But whenever I want to subscribe, I'm like, here you go with this bull again, man. Like he's a brilliant guy.
Cash,
I like him, but I just don't
Cash.
like this. I want to subscribe.
I know what.
I want to be a supporter so bad. But what you do is, because I be seeing you get cooked too. And when somebody starts to cooking, they say one thing and you catch them up on that one thing they said, but they done cooked you for a whole sentence, and you try to catch them up on one particular line. That don't work
Cash,
on me though. That's not
Cash,
gonna work on me.
Cash. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. You're entitled to your opinion, and I'm okay with it.
definitely,
But in my
definitely.
opinion, no one has ever come on this platform and cooked me. Now, let's get back to the 2-1 though, because you tried to sneak it in, and I just want to make sure the audience understand what a 2-1 is. In boxing, and I've been in boxing a long time. A one
Yeah,
two, a 1-2 is the jab and then the cross. You agree with
yeah.
that, right, Cash?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so if the 2-1 is the cross and then the jab, then that means that Crawford knocked Spence down with the one, which is a jab. You agree with that, right?
Partly, I agree with that
No
because
problem. See,
again,
that's what I'm saying. See,
no,
I got you, brother.
you said he knocked him down with a 2-1. You said a 2-1 is a jab and a cross.
No, I
Second
didn't
punch
say
is
that. No,
that's
I
what you
didn't say that.
said.
No, listen, hear me. I said that he knocked. I asked you a question. I said, have you ever seen Terence Crawford knock anyone down with a jab? You said you have. You said he knocks Spence down with the 2-1. In boxing, a 1-2 is the jab being the one, the two being the cross. So if the two is the cross and the one is the jab, he knocked him down with the one, which is the jab. You agree with that, right?
I do not agree with that. No, no,
No, no
no,
problem. So
no. I
you've
don't agree with that.
seen no problem. That's okay. But you don't have a problem with that, nor do you have a problem with him working with Victor Conti. So if you
I
don't have a
don't know.
problem with him working,
This is my
I
thing,
didn't
Marty.
say I had a problem.
This is my thing. I
I
don't
didn't
have a
say I had a
problem with
problem.
him doing nothing. It's the insinuation, and you know what you're doing. This okay?
What
We've
is the
had
insinu?
in the
Tell me
past
this.
week. In the past week, let me ask you this, because you follow boxing, and I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of stuff you do, I don't particularly care for, but I do think you're brilliant and you are smart, and I have learned some things from you. So I'm not just
Thank
gonna
you.
come up here and bash you. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a man.
Thank
But
you.
who's tested positive in this last week? That's a professional boxer. Who
Who
tested
did what?
positive? Who tested positive for performance enhancing drugs in this last week in the boxing community?
Alicia Bumgarner, but we talked about her the other day. How we get on her today?
No, I'm just saying that she actually tested positive, right?
Yes, according to all the reports, absolutely.
So there's no need to insinuate, right? It's proven fact that a test came back positive for Alicia Baumgartner. This is my thing. Terence Bud Crawford, Jerron Boots Ennis, Demetrius Andre, I'm not gonna name them all, but Devin Haney, he's in the same picture that you posted. None of these guys have actually tested positive for anything negative. It's never happened. So why would we even play like that?
How can someone get? How can someone test it for something if they haven't taken the test in the first place? How can
I,
they test positive if they never took a test?
I didn't know they didn't take a test. What I was
Well, you're a
told,
Crawford fan. You should know the information,
no,
bro.
the information that was given to me was Spence and Bud took tests, and that the PBC is keeping it private. That's what I was told. If we're being honest, that's what I was told. That's the
You
information that I looked up and I
pe-
researched.
people PBC told you that? The people from PBC told you that?
No,
They
I
keeping it
did my
private?
own research that they did take a test, and that it's private information. It's not public.
I got you. Would you, since you publicized that, is it possible if you can name the source of where you got that information from?
Just googling, just on the internet, the same internet you on, the same internet you got that picture off of Victor Conte, Terence Bud Crawford, and Devin Haney.
So the snack program and Instagram. That's where I got the picture from. They said that on the snack Instagram. I can
No,
pull it up.
I said Google. I said Google. I said Google. I said internet. Because I wanted to see if they tested for this fight too. Because again, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I put this on everything I love. I knew excuses would come out after Bud beat him, and I said one of the excuses is going to be that Terence Bud Crawford is using something. So I said I want to see if they even took the test, if they did the Olympic style drug testing, so that can be out the window.
So you assume because I'm bringing this up as far as Victor Conte being the strength and conditioning coach for Crawford, that I'm making an excuse for Spence? Is that what you're implying?
I think that's pretty clear. I'm not the only one in the comment section that feel that way. Like again, come on, we ain't got to do this.
I had a question. I had a question for you. Herb Gillespie, I see you in the, hold on one second, Herb. Let me ask this guy a question, and then I'll ask you some questions and let you speak your piece, Herb. Quick question, Cash. Would you say that Terence Bud Crawford is a great fighter before he fought Errol Spence?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So we stand in solidarity. I think Crawford is a great fighter as well, Cash. But I had a question for you, though. You say he's a great fighter. I say he's a great fighter as well before he fought Spence. But I'm confused. You're the Crawford fan and you are a boxing fan too. Maybe you can help me answer this. Why did
My
Terence
bad.
Crawford go over there with Victor Conte in the first place?
My bad, Marty. You broke up for like 2 seconds. My bad.
I'm sure I did. So you believe that Crawford is a great fighter. I believe Crawford is a great fighter. You are a boxing fan and a Crawford fan. So I'm asking you because I'm confused. We both believe that Crawford's a great fighter. Why did he hook up with Victor Conte in the first place in order to beat any other fighters, including Errol Spence?
I don't. You kind of close. I've seen you in the gym with Jerron Boots Ennis. You could probably ask Jerron.
Why this man not
He
answering
could
the
probably answer
question
that
when I
question.
asked him about how we get on Boots, bro? I'm
Because
asking you about Crawford, bro.
I don't
You
personally know
gaslighting
Crawford.
me
This the
again,
thing.
Cash.
I don't personally know Crawford, but you have access to Boots, so you should ask Boots. Why did you
I'm
hook
not
up with Victor
asking
Conte?
Boots about. Why am I
I
asking
don't
Boots
know
about
Crawford
Crawford?
personally.
You
I can't
talking like
answer
you do,
questions
so
about.
you're a fan of
I
boxing.
can't. I can't answer a question about another man I don't personally know. So I'm
You've
trying to do you
answered
a
all the
favor.
other questions about. Wait, hold up, tell me, Cash. You've answered all the other questions about the man, so I figured
What
I could
questions
ask
did I
you that
answer?
question.
What question did I answer about the man? I asked a general boxing question. You asking me why did he hook up with Victor Conte? I can't answer
Yeah,
that question.
all right. I respect that. I respect that. I respect. Herb
Of
Gillespie,
course you
you're on
respect it.
live. I respect that. You're on live, Herb Gillespie. I appreciate you joining the panel. I'm not sure if you ever joined the panel before. Your name doesn't
Nah.
look familiar, but all right, the floor is yours, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're doing a lot of insinuating, man, about the PEDs, man. You know what you're doing. You're trying to gaslight everybody. Let me not say that. You're trying to get the views up, man. As the young people say, man. I see what you're trying to do. I get, like I said, I'm not mad at it. It's a very smart tactic that you're doing. It's lawyeristic, if that's a word. You know what I mean? You're putting it out there, but you're not claiming it, so therefore it can't come back around you. It's very, hey, kudos to you, big dog. You're a very smart guy with this. But come on, man. Let's keep it funky, man. Errol Spence got his ass kicked, and I'm an Errol Spence fan. That's all that needs to be said.
I have to agree with you on one thing you said, that Errol Spence got his behind kicked. I agree with that. But the other part that I don't agree with her is that I'm doing this for viewership. I don't need Crawford or nobody else to help me with viewership. I'm entertaining, and that's why you're here. But the thing about it is, since you're saying that you are a Spence fan, let me ask you a question about Spence. Do you think Spence should go over there with the snack program? I do.
Okay.
Do you, her?
Absolutely not.
Hello, hello. Testing 1 2 1
I
2.
believe.
My mic on?
Yeah.
Herb, is my
You hear
mic
me?
on, Herb? Herb.
Is yours
You're
on?
this.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Do you think you're a Spence fan now? I recommend that he do. Do you think that Spence should go over to Victor Conti and work with the snack program before this rematch?
No.
Why not?
He didn't. He need to go back with a Blu-ray. He was real stronger with Blu-ray.
Why shouldn't he give Victor Conti a chance? Cash said that there's 50 other fighters that's over there benefiting from the program. Why can't Spence go over there?
He didn't go over there all these other times. Why do it now?
Well, that's the question I'm asking Cash about Terence Crawford. He didn't go over there before Sean Porter, so why now?
He's been dealing with him. It's on record. He's been
Sean
wearing
Porter could help
snack gear
Snack
for
out,
a
by the way.
long time.
Huh?
He been wearing snack gear for a long time.
Cash, can you confirm that?
You talking about Bud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I will say
been
that
rocking that snack and dealing with snack for a minute now.
Snack was.
Yeah, he was dealing with Snack. His first fight with Snack
I'm only speaking
was
on
when he
my.
fought Sean Porter.
That's what I was
Like you
gonna say. That's
said.
the first time I personally seen.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
he been doing it for a minute.
hold on, Herb. I want to hear Cash. I couldn't hear you, Cash. What'd you say?
Can you hear me now?
That's the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was agreeing with you. The first time I seen him with Snack was with Sean when he fought Sean Porter.
Right. So, okay, hold on for a minute. So what we're hearing is that Herb don't want Spence to go over there because he said he ain't been going over there. I'm asking Cash. Crawford ain't never been over there before Sean Porter, but it's okay for him to be over there. So I'm just trying to figure out why can't
But
Spence go over there too?
he's been with him before. That's all. That's the point I was trying to make. This is nothing new.
I got Terrell Barnes here.
I
Before I
think
get
the reason
Terrell
why.
I
I
got
think
Terrell
Spence
Barnes
probably
on.
don't want to go over there.
Hold on one second, Cash. I gotta get the super chat. I got Terrell Barnes here, and I want to let you know something, Cash, and I want to let you know something too, Herb, because you said it's all about Crawford, and Crawford's not here, but the viewership is increasing exponentially because even Crawford fans, they even are fans of Manager Marty, and I appreciate the viewership. Let me get the super chat real quick.
You baked them in. That's why.
Huh?
You baked them in.
It's called truth, brother. That's all we deal with here. Let me get the super
Bait.
chat.
Clout chaser.
You got it, sir. You're entitled to your opinion. 2 Cents Boxing. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. 2 Cents Boxing says, I don't know why people don't realize it's not that Bud won the fight, it's how he won the fight. Everyone wants to sweep it under the rug. The fact that Spence was TBC, which is Terence Bud Crawford's easiest fight, is suspicious enough. Terrell Barnes, you heard the super chat. You hear it what Cass said. You heard what Herb said. Of course, you heard what I said. Terrell Barnes, you was on the panel the other day. What's your take on all of this, my brother?
First, let me pay homage, brother. Peace out to you, Manager Monarch, along with the Roll the Tape film crew, my brother Cash, and the I forgot your name, brother, on the panel. But peace to both of you brothers as well, man. Yes, I did. I did hear what was transpiring. My opinion on the matter is, when I hear Crawford supporters speak in the manner to which I'm listening to, it's as if they feel as though they were surprised that Bud even won. It's like they feel as though they were just as surprised as the Spence support group of what we witnessed with him uh, in losing.
Hey,
So,
sir, that type of performance that Bud put on is gonna do everybody like that.
well, if you're surprised that he won it, then why shouldn't it draw some speculation as to how he won?
They're not surprised that he won. They're surprised how he won.
But that's okay. Well, that's manager Marty's point, how he won it. And I think
It's
that
just surprising.
Okay, but why is it surprising? It shouldn't have been a surprise. It should have been expected. If you're going to say that a person can't be an individual thinker and give their discernment based upon what they seen, Crawford handled Earl in a manner to which he has handled people that are lower tier fighters than Earl. He ain't never beat nobody like that in 39 fights, brother. So it should be questioned. And then as you look at this picture right here with Mr. Cochran, you know Mr. Cochran's history, man. It's like America in a war and they drop a bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima and then tell everybody else on the planet they don't want them with nuclear weapons. So here you are with a man, Victor Conte, who is a known cheat in the game and have done so for professions and sports professionals throughout sports. And then here you are taking a picture with the guy, and as this saying that, oh, I'm a good guy now, I'm clean now, I should be able to, do this, that, and the other, and don't nobody bat an eye at it. It's Victor Conte we speaking about, man. So I believe that people should be able to have independent thinking and look at the evidence of certain things and be able to discern for themselves without anybody else being, not to take away your level of independence or Mr. Cash. I can understand that too. But it just, as a boxing fan, it just kind of irked me a little bit of certain things that we would want to turn a blind eye to just because our guy won, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to
Somewhat.
remove from the element. You know what I mean? I'm trying to remove that from the element because Earl has made zero excuses.
That's
So
all I'm
now,
trying to say.
yeah, but
That's
that
the
don't take
main
away.
point.
But that don't take away from me having the ability for me to speak about what I saw.
I don't know, man. I think we should.
Okay, I tell you
I think
what,
we should take Earl at his word at this particular point.
brother, I still call him the truth. I take him at his word, but my word means something too, brother. You understand? Just
Not
like
as
you
much
believe.
as Earl's does.
Oh, I disagree with that. Just like you believe
Not as
yours
much as
means
Earl's
something.
does. Earl is in the ring fighting. You sitting
No,
on.
no, but I'm saying I'm talking about our word as that means you would demean my character just because I'm saying something with my word.
Nah,
No,
we're not going there.
I'm not gonna let that happen. Just like I believe that your words are valid in your mind. You understand what I mean? But listen, man, it is more than right to have suspicion about Earl's performance and Terence Crawford's performance on that night. That was unexpected by anybody who follows and watches boxing. I've been watching boxing since the 70s. I'm almost 60
That's
years old,
correct.
bro.
That's correct. I said that's
Yeah.
correct. It definitely was something that was huge. Like I said, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought Earl was going to win by decision. I thought, Al Haymon was going to make that thing happen. It was close. But
Man,
to see,
man, Herb, I took Earl to stop him in the 10th round. Show you how wrong I was about the
oh,
situation.
trust me, I was sick. I was sick the next 2-3 days after that.
Yeah.
But
So I mean,
what I'm trying to say is this though, like, we got to give it up, man, for Bud. Bud had a great night, and like I said,
let me
guy's
ask you
ass
something.
kicked.
but
I
Earl,
agree.
Okay,
Herb, nobody is taking that away from him that he
Right.
had a great night.
Let
I think
me
you
bring
are.
this. Hold up. Let
In
me
a way,
bring
you
this
are.
back. Hold on 1 second.
Oh.
What it sounds like to me is, and I have to agree with Terrell, What it sounds like to me is because Crawford won, no one, including manager Marty, have the right to speak on observation, have the right to say, this is what I saw, this is what I heard, this is what I think. We are stripped of all independent thinking, all because the man won. And you know her from a life principle perspective, that makes absolutely no sense.
Zero.
Nobody can say, Manager Marty, you are a Bud hater because he won, and you're speaking on the fact that he voluntarily chose to connect himself with a guy who is suspicious. Let me give you an example. When David Benavidez was about to fight Caleb Plant, Victor Conti put out a tweet. I mentioned this on the channel back in February. He put out a tweet literally 2 months before the fight. And he said himself, Victor Conti, David Benavidez has Memo Heredia in his corner, in his training camp, as the strength and conditioning coach. His name is Memo Heredia.
Okay.
He was one of the guys that was dealing steroids to athletes as well. Memo Heredia was in Juan Manuel Marquez's corner in the last Pacquiao fight where he knocked him out cold. Now, Victor Conti made a public statement and he said, watch out for Memo Heredia and David Benavidez because there might not be VADA testing in this fight. That's what Victor Conti said. So what I'm saying is if Victor Conti can say that about a former, whether he's current dealing steroids or not, I'm talking about Memo Heredia, I don't know, but let's say a former known steroid dealer, why can't we as fans do the same thing and put him under the same scrutiny that he put Memo under when he's a former or current or former performance-enhancing steroid dealer himself?
Can I answer that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I believe, after you've been incarcerated, stuff like that, and, he knows that his name is smut out here. Like I said, he got locked up. I mean, he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, me personally, it would be hard for me to deal with somebody, like I said, just because of the social type of, retribution that I get, but just associate with someone like that. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. But I would say, I would attest to this guy's been to jail, he knows who's in the game. So therefore, he's like a snitch or a federal agent or exposer, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, in that. So yeah, he's gonna know who's in the game. Point blank, period. But now that he's been to jail and his face is out there, is he really going to risk it all again? Because everybody's going to be watching him now. But they're using him as a liaison to find out about other people. So I think he's credible for that, if nothing else. But I would not want to have my name associated with him, of course not, or any of my boxes. But but he does know the human body. He does know the strengths and how to get the body right. So you got to take that in accordance as well. So, like I said, he does have information on how to build a body. So it's a catch-22 slippery slope, whatever you want to call it. But it may be worth it. It's worth it to some people.
Herb, you said you wouldn't personally yourself. You wouldn't associate with a guy who has a shady past like that because it's suspicious. You just said that, right?
Absolutely.
So is that why you don't think Errol Spence should go over there with Victor Conti and Snack?
Nah.
You a Spence fan, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think you should go over there because, why? But to answer your question, probably honestly, yeah.
So why come my manager Marty can't say the same thing?
But you insinuating it. You put it there like it's like, come on, fam. Like the way you doing it is crazy though. The way you doing it is clout chasing, and you doing too much with it.
Herb, because you just said you wouldn't even go over there. Are you clout chasing for saying that?
Nah.
So how am I clout chasing for saying the same thing you just said? Come on, bro.
I didn't say the same thing. See, you twisted it around.
You just said you think that he's suspicious and you wouldn't associate yourself with him.
I didn't say he was suspicious. I said for social credit, I would not want my name associated with that. He might be good at what he does. Obviously, he is good at what he does. People just don't care. You might like ketchup on your fries. I might like tartar sauce. We eat.
These guys just can't keep it all the way 100 when it comes.
I kept it 100, bro. How did I not keep it a buck?
Because you wouldn't even go over there. You publicly.
I didn't say I wouldn't go over there. I said I would not go over there. Yeah, I did say I would not go over there, but I'm not saying I would not go over there because I'm going because of the looks of it. The looks, you know what I mean? That's me. But he might be good at what he does. Obviously, he's good at what he does. Because people and hold on. And he's obviously licensed and he's able to do work with the fighters with no retribution or no problems or no. Come on now. So you gotta let it go. I wouldn't do it. And look, I wouldn't buy a new Mercedes Benz. I would buy a new Lexus. Because I know, matter of fact, I would, less maintenance.
For me,
Herb, thank you for being on the panel, Herb. I got 10 guys in the background. I appreciate you. I gotta let you go. Shaheed L, I try to rationalize with some of these guys who contradict themselves, and they wouldn't even go over there with Victor, nor would they want their favorite fighter Spence to go over there. But now when manager Marty speaks up on it, I'm the bad guy. What's your take on that, Shaheed L?
Well, peace to your show once again, because you give great, salute to you, salutations to your great content. A lot of brothers don't like that you trip them up over their own words. You hold them accountable for what they speak out their mouth, and they try to put you as if you the bad guy when you showing the facts from the fiction. You seeing pictures with Bud, you seeing pictures with Shakur Stevenson. You're showing all these pictures and all these facts, and they want to make it look like you are trying to insinuate about him with these so-called PEDs that are undetectable when the man said it himself. So how are they going to hold you accountable for what somebody else spoke out their mouth?
Totally agree. And I also recommend that everybody go to what, don't do it now, because I need the viewership. As Shaheed, the viewership, I'm talking about, when I tell you it's increased, we got over about 600 people in here right now as I'm talking. Now on your screen it say 234, Blasi. I know the trick that YouTube does. We have over 500 to 600 people watching me live right now in living color. And I recommend each and every last one of you to roll the tape on Victor Conte himself. There is a Netflix special called Wall of Shame. It's about Victor Conte's life. And he's in there talking about his ascension from 1984 all the way to today, where in 2003 he got federally indicted. Most of us know his background and his story for manufacturing basically steroids, PEDs. He hooked up with a chemist, and that's what he did. He sold it, distributed to a lot of professional athletes. Most of them got caught. Marion, she went to jail. Victor Conte went to jail. Tim Montgomery, Barry Bonds, the list goes on, and including and not limited to Sugar Shane Mosley, a future Hall of Famer who admitted in a deposition on YouTube that he hooked up with Victor Conte in 2001 or 2002 when he fought and beat Oscar De La Hoya in the rematch, because he used the clear and he used the cream that Victor Conte actually administered to him. And Victor Conte is on Bass Singer's interview years ago saying that he actually watched Sugar Shane Mosley administer and inject himself with the PED. So what I'm saying is there's a cloud over the eyes and the head of Victor Conte, a cloud of suspicion. Victor Conte has fighters over there at the SNAP program, including Terence Crawford. We saw Terence Crawford perform the best level in his whole life since he's been a professional boxer. And we already know, according to the SNAC program and what they said, what the SNAC program said on their own Instagram account, it tells us that the product that they offer improves your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. It's legal,
Wow.
but that's what it's legal, but this is what it does. So all I'm saying is, why do I gotta be the bad guy when they are actually posting all of the accomplishments of all of the fighters that have endured the benefits of what SNAC offer? I don't understand why I gotta be the bad guy and nobody's even looking at Victor Conte in his past. And I'm not saying he's doing nothing wrong today publicly, but what I'm saying is we need answers. Why can't I ask these questions? I don't get it. Is it because Crawford won? I mean, because if that's the case, people are going to be more suspicious that he won. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Mhm.
real. That's all I'm
I,
saying.
I think that they're caught off guard because you're going beneath the surface where they're not. Say they're above the surface. They're not. Let's be honest. Just 8-9 months ago, Bud got caught with defective gloves. Did he or did he not?
He did.
Okay,
Very
so within
defective
those
glove.
bust, so you said two of them. Were they two defective?
Oh, yes.
So the question becomes, and this is why I salute you, because you're not going to let something be swept up underneath the rug. Even David Abanesian's camp even petitioned the court. I don't know if a lot of people knew that they petitioned the court. They filed a complaint. They filed a complaint on Bud's busted gloves. I'm gonna tell you like this. The brother said previously in the chat earlier that he didn't want to be affiliated with nothing like that. Who wouldn't? Who would want to be affiliated with a man that's a known cheat? On top of that, look how Bud moved. They talk about he the best fighter in the world, but the best fighter in the world is not going to move the way that he moved. He used David Abanesian as a lab rat to see if those undetected PEDs were going to be effective or not. That's why when Spence beat the brakes off of Ugas, you made him wait. You made Spence wait because you didn't want that smoke right there and then. You used David Abanesian as a lab rat, went in there, fought him, had defective gloves, busted the gloves. They swept it up underneath the rug, kind of like they did with Tyson Fury when he had the floppy gloves. All these people that are up under this snack, they keep getting swept up underneath the rug because they cheating. And to go back to what Floyd Mayweather said about Shane Sugar Mosley. Shane got caught cheating. I didn't. He said that before. He said they're just not cheating in boxing, but they're cheating in all sports. And guess what? Floyd Mayweather went to jail after that. Once he started exposing these people that are in these sports, he went to jail.
The problem, I agree with you. The problem that I have with this is I heard people say this on YouTube, facts over feelings. But what I realized in the last 7 months I've been here is not facts over feelings, it's fighters over facts. Because when Tyson Fury gloves was like that, people was all in an outrage. But then now when Crawford gloves was messed up and they still let him fight and he knocked out David Evanesian, I haven't heard one Terence Crawford fan yet criticize that. In fact, when Tyson Fury put that dent on the side right here of Wilder head, oh, we was in outrage. People was in an outrage on YouTube. But then now, when manager Marty put that thumbnail up, when Crawford put that dent up in Spence head, you know what I mean, right here, all of a sudden now I'm a hater. Like, come on, y'all. We got to keep it all the way real. And let me say this. We know for a fact that Terence Crawford have extended the delays in the negotiations a year and a half ago. Let's stop acting like we don't know that is a fact. That is not an opinion. That's a fact. And we also know that Terence Crawford, I just had the guy Cash inadvertently admit it before y'all got here. We also know that Terence Crawford never knocked nobody out in the welterweight division with one punch. And I'm not talking about TKO. I'm talking about knocked out cold. We know that. That's a fact. That's not an insinuation. And we also know that Terence Crawford never knocked nobody down with the 1 or the 2. And he knocked Spence down with either one of them. And we know this is a fact. This is not an insinuation. So we can't have fighters over facts because Crawford won. Because if Crawford looked like Spence and Spence looked out of the ordinary, Manager Marty would be saying the same exact thing if Spence was over there with Victor Conte. It ain't no difference of who it is. We got to call it for what it is. We're not talking about no other fighter over there. I'm only talking about Crawford because a lot of the fans been criticizing me for a whole week, trying to convince me that Crawford is just a spokesman. He's just an advertiser. He's not on the program. He's not over there taking the supplements. And then I showed this picture today, right here, where he's in the gym with the hand wraps on, sweating, but he's in the snack gym, brother. This is the realities of what we're dealing with. And if it was anybody else, we'd be sitting on YouTube talking about it. And that's all I got to say about that. Terrell Barnes, I appreciate you coming on. My guy Shaheed, I appreciate you. I got 10 guys in the back, and 2 of them I got to let on right now. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Terrell and Shaheed, and we're going to get this thing cooking. I appreciate your viewership. Now I got to bring my guys on. These guys I'm bringing on, the reason why I need them to have their own introduction is because these 2 guys were instrumental in making me famous on YouTube. You already know about my interviews with YSM Sports Media. You already know that these 2 guys, right after my interviews with YSM Sports Media, they took the time and gave Manager Marty a voice before their audience on their platform by replaying and analyzing and evaluating the things that I said about the negotiations between Crawford and Spence on YSM Sports Media's channel. This was last summer, last July. And here we are. What a difference a year make. I got 2 guys on this right. I'm about to bring them on right now. And you need to subscribe to both of these guys if you haven't, because if you want to hear truth, and guess what? You ain't got to just come on my channel to hear truth. You can go on D-Town Boxing's channel, and you can go on the Real Marlo TV's channel. And that's a fact. That ain't, listen, when it's real, you ain't even got to do a whole lot. You know what I'm doing? Way too much talking. Real Marlo, what's up, baby boy? What's going on with you?
Good, bro. What up to the chat, man? In the building. What's good, D-Town?
I salute to you. I salute to you, Real Marlo. Appreciate you. D-Town, what's going on, family?
What's good, D-Town?
What's going on, Real Marlo, my brother and Manager Marty? What's up?
Man, listen, we got Philly, we got St. Louis, and we got Texas in the building. And you know, all parts of the world, we keep it all the way 100. Marlo, you heard all the things I've been saying. I have no problem keeping it all the way 100. They trying to cook me in the chat saying I'm hating on Bud when the facts is here. What's your take on everything, Real Marlo?
I think straight up Bud cheated. Man, I seen this video from D-Town where Derrick James was feeling on Bud gloves. He was feeling on the little edge of his gloves, trying to see what it was in that little part. Bro, Bud cheated. I don't care what nobody say. I never seen him swell nobody face up like he swole Earl Smith's face up. And it all makes sense on why he was holding up the negotiations a whole year and some change. You know, he was stalling and stalling and stalling. And I believe he was doing the same thing that Alicia Baumgartner just did, where she was trying to flush the drugs out of the system to where it wouldn't show up. So that's how you know that she was dealing with somebody who was experienced. Same thing with Bud. They both with Schnack. Bud been running around with Schnack. And I believe he got on the phone with Victor Conte, and they was talking. Conte was like, Bud try to stall him to July. And Bud was like, okay, I'm going to stall him to July. Are you sure it's going to be gone? Yeah. All right. And that's exactly what the hell he did, bro. And that's why he started the fight the whole time. Then he got in the ring. All of a sudden, he hitting hard as hell. Every jab he hitting Earl with, popping his head back. And then Earl falling, not even from a jab to the face. So, yeah, man. Y'all 100% correct, bro. I believe Bud was damn sure cheating. You know what I'm saying? It make all the sense in the world, and it ain't for debate. It's just what I seen with my own eyes. I don't care what no Bud fans say. If you want to If Bud fans want to find somebody to bully, to get them to try to give Bud credit, take your ass somewhere else, because ain't nobody on this panel right now ain't finna come to nothing you talking about, period.
Detailed boxing, you heard what Real Marlo said. You heard what I said. You know we stand 10 toes down, family. What's your take on everything, bro?
I mean, when you open up the bag and you see the cat in there, that's what it is. It's a cat in the bag. You know what I'm saying? So, we all know that Terence Crawford was stalling out the fight. We know that. For some reason, now he wants to fight. What's the best way to do something, undercover is to point the finger at somebody else. And this was the reason why Victor Conti was adding that Earl Spence Jr., telling him, hey, what about VADA testing? What about VADA testing? So he had everybody looking over here, and the whole time over there, they was over there taking those drugs. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, Real Marlo, my brother, Manager Marty, and all the other channels, we all know what we see. We follow Earl Spence Jr. Majority of these guys that saying that Errol Spence look like 100% and stuff like that, they was watching Errol Spence fight the same way they was watching Mayweather fight, to critique him and to point out flaws instead of actually watching these guys fight to get an understanding that the Errol Spence they saw that night was not the same Errol Spence we saw. The Terence Crawford that we saw that night was not the same Terence Crawford we saw. So me personally, if Terence Crawford felt like that he could beat Earl Spence Jr. straight up, why do you need to deal with snacks? They keep talking about he got all these skills and these abilities. This dude got wings, he can fly like Red Bull and all this kind of stuff. And this man need to go deal with snacks, get tater chips, get candy bars and all this stuff to beat Earl Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't buying it, and I believe he gonna continue dealing with snacks because there ain't nobody gonna, say anything about it. Like they didn't say nothing with Tyson Fury.
Good point. And I have something to say to Crawford fans personally on this channel. I've heard people in my chat, Marlo, say that Errol Spence was juicing, and they used the reference of this grown man nipples being hard. I don't know what that was about, bro, but these guys was saying that they think Spence was juicing. He wasn't around Victor Conti, but here it is. Bud is around a guy who's highly suspicious, who basically reached out to Spence in February because he said it in February of 2023. He said that he reached out to Errol Spence through a DM. And I got the tweet right here, and I can roll the tape because I did it on my channel, where he reached out to Spence and he said, I want to sponsor you to take VADA testing. His words was, Crawford already agreed. That was in February of 2023. But unfortunately, there was another coincidental event that occurred based on Terence Crawford. Crawford said in recent interviews in the lead up of this fight that he personally called Spence on the phone in January. His words, not mine. So my thing was, he knocks out David Ebenezer in December, and then a month later, he called Spence on the phone trying to set the fight up. And I didn't understand what that was about because they've been reaching out to you for a whole year, and you wasn't budging. You went and fought David Ebenezer, but now all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, you pick up the phone after you knock this guy out, call Spence, and then 30 days later in February, Victor Conti shows up out of nowhere and DM Spence. That just looks suspicious. We got to call a spade, whether we agree or not, or whether we say that somebody's juicing or not. The facts still remain. There's no insinuation. These are the facts, and we're just laying them out, Marlo.
Yeah, man. It all makes sense, and the timeline makes sense on when he was doing it. Like I say, man, if you don't need no extra help, what you going to Victor Conte in the first place for? I wouldn't even want to put my brand next to his. If I'm a clean fighter, why would I want to be next to Victor Conte with a history like his? So, everything points to Terence Crawford doing some dirty things behind the scenes. I couldn't put my finger on it, but putting all the collective things together and everything that happened, yeah, I feel like he cheated, bro. That's just how it went. It was just too suspicious, man. And then the crazy thing is, just like D-Town said, when Victor Conte wrote Earl Spence saying when he said, like, come on, bro. He made a tweet saying that it wasn't VADA testing for the fight. And if you think about it, that's always how cheaters move. They always try to point the finger at somebody else. And the next thing you know, they the ones doing it to keep the eyes off of them. So that's what Victor Conte was doing pre-fight. Earl Spence and Terence Crawford. And then on top of that, when I was thinking back on the promotion of the fight, leading up to the fight, I was watching Terence Crawford, Bo Mack, and them, and I just seen this little look where it was looking like they was nervous, and they wasn't nervous because they didn't know how the fight was gonna go. They was nervous because they didn't know if they gonna get caught or not. They knew they was doing some sneaky shit. They knew they was doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing. Facts, bro.
Oh my
They
God.
cheated. You know, Bo Mac fat ass wasn't saying shit. The whole damn promotion. He wasn't saying nothing. He knew what he was doing. He was eating snacks. You know, he was eating snacks. And then Bud, he was over there eating some different type of snacks. And that's how the fight turned out.
Oh man, that's my guy, Marlo, man. BBO, I know it sounds like this is a whole bunch of bud hate, but it's not. You know me very well. You know I don't deal with the hate. We got to call a spade, BBO. Welcome to the panel, my brother.
Oh, salute, man. Salute to my brother Marley. Salute to my man, Real Marlo. And of course, my brother, Deep Town Boxing. I'm a minister, nigga. My guy.
Yo,
Cool,
you
bro.
can't use the N-word, BV.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know we can use the word. I'm sorry. I thought we could say that. But I'll say this, man. I don't want to say he's cheating. I mean, because what that does, what that takes away what we just seen. We just seen, and I'm not a Bud fan at all. We just seen a masterclass performance against a true welterweight. You know, it's funny. People don't realize Earl's probably one of the best welterweights to ever fight. And to see what Bud did to him, these are all things, if we watch boxing, know that happens to fighters that have that aggressive style. Anytime you're coming forward and somebody can punch you in between punches, I mean, it's going to be hard to win. And we only seen Earl fight box one other time against Mikey Garcia. So, I mean, I don't want to go as far, and I will defend the fact that I know you're not doing this for like clout or nothing, because it looks bad. But at the end of the day, we just got to look at Crawford's whole career, man. I haven't heard anything of that nature. And all I've seen him do is really go out, train. I don't even think I've ever heard of him drinking, smoking, any of that thing. So at the end of the day, the man took supreme care of his body. We can be honest, there's some choices that Errol made, unfortunately, that are still hunting him today. And let's be honest, if we looked at the Ugas fight or the Dennis Garcia fight, we know that he lost a little bit of mobility. And the thing was, he couldn't come in and out like he used to. And don't get me wrong, Errol will beat a lot of people, but that night and for that kind of style, I mean, he won't beat him because really it looked like, you know, Floyd versus Gamboa. Not Gamboa versus Gotti. I mean, if we look at the fight in its totality, man, Earl just got outclassed. And I don't want to take away from Bud, but I get what you're saying because, you know, it looks bad. But until I see a positive test, I've learned, let's not say nothing on that. But I do respect what you're saying because Victor Conte is a known drug dealer. He's not a drug, he's a drug dealer. I mean, that's what he is. You know, if he was a black man, they would say he was a drug dealer. Am I wrong? That's what they would say.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, here's the
I
thing.
go ahead.
Here's the thing, Here's the thing, BBO, and I want to let the audience in on this. There's a documentary on Victor Conte's life and how he started with the whole steroids manufacturing and dealing on Netflix. It just premiered on Tuesday of this week. I just
Mhm.
watched it for the first time last night. And you said if there wasn't a positive test that came out with somebody's name attached to it, then we can't say A, B, and C. I do
Mhm.
agree with that. Here's the difference, though. Victor Conte himself, and I can roll the tape right now on a Netflix documentary, he said himself that the steroids that he manufactured with the chemist were undetectable. So basically, nobody will be able to get caught if all of the positive tests were coming back that they was not juicing when not fighters and athletes at that time were actually juicing.
I seen that too. But you know what? If we go down to like, and I know all of us here love boxing. I mean, let's look at the Mildred Taylor versus Chavez fight. Let's be honest. Anytime you got that come forward style, the boxer's gonna beat you up. One of my favorite fights people don't even give Oscar credit for was when he fought the great Pernell Whitaker. It's the same thing. The aggressive style doesn't always be the good black slug fighter. And I get what you're saying because Victor Conte was talking about his I think it was called the clear. And that's something that he gave to Marion Jones, apparently Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. But in boxing, I mean, if I'll put it like this: when I seen that David Avocado fight or Abanesian, whatever you call him, and I seen Spence beat the stuffing out of his gloves beating on him. I thought
You
that was
mean
kind of
Crawford?
weird. Yeah, Crawford. When
You
I
mean
seen
Crawford?
Crawford, beat the stuffing out of his gloves on him like that, I said, I don't know. But the thing is, let's be honest, Crawford's been doing that. He's just been beating people to death. That's what he's been doing. At some
Yeah,
point,
but
we
he
got to
didn't
be
knock.
like, go ahead.
But BVO, let's keep it 100. He never
Yeah.
knocked nobody out with one punch in the welterweight division. BVO.
No, not like that. No, like I said, he looked like George Foreman in that fight. I mean, but what I'm saying is, I don't want to take away from historically great performance, because that to me, that takes away from how great Errol was. I don't think people understand. Errol Spence is going to go to the Hall of Fame off what he did at welterweight. I mean, 3 belts, fought everybody he could fight, and we
This
seen
my
a guy.
this my
Go ahead.
thing. This my thing though, BBO.
Go
They
ahead.
said this fight was gonna be fight of the decade.
Mm-hmm.
So Earl name, I mean Terence Crawford name is coincide with Earl name. So they where Bud, when they talk about Bud, they talk about Earl. So my thing is, in that fight, Bud
Mm-hmm.
look how he looked, but Earl ain't look how he usually look. So I can't be talking about. I mean, fuck credit. You want some credit? You need to go to. You need to turn your homework and you need to go to school or something like that. Like we ain't talking about no credit, bro. If you want to give credit to Bud that bad, then do what you do. But what I seen, I'm just talking about what I seen. I seen Bud. He ain't never looked like that, and he ain't never did nobody like that. He ain't do Jeff Horn like that. He ain't do Amnesia. Nobody in the division he did like that, and you never seen Earl look like that. So I can't talk about his performance. That just looked like I think he was on PD, period, bro. So my thing is,
Let me
when they
ask you this before you finish. Let me ask you this. Before you finish.
Let
So you
let him
say
finish. Let him
you.
finish, B.
Oh, go
Let
ahead.
him
Go ahead.
finish, B. Let him finish his.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
let him finish, B.
when they go to 154, Bud should knock Earl Spence out, right? The same
Mm-hmm.
way he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if Bud go 12 rounds with Earl Spence or get knocked out himself, then what that mean? Because to me, that automatically mean he cheated. Period. That should tell you right there something wrong. One division shouldn't matter. That same power should be up there the same weight. So if he can't knock out Earl Spence, there should be red flags everywhere. He should be able to do the same thing at 154, but he's not, because that PD or whatever he was using and won't be in his system no more. And I believe Earl, Derrick James, and all them know Bud was on something. It looked like he was on something. He was acting like he was on something, and I feel like he was on something. It is what it is. What you think about that?
Yeah, everybody have their different perspectives. Let me get these
Mm-hmm.
super chats real quick. And there's a guest in the background, and I believe it is a woman. I never had a woman on this panel before, and I want to give her an opportunity to come on to the panel. Let me get these super chats real quick. Money Magic, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Money Magic says, Marty, please do a Conti and snack episode. Absolutely, Money Magic. I certainly will do that. Clean Cut, one of my day one supporters. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Clean Cut says, Bud showed he don't mind bending the rules. The fact is, Bud had a great night with Scooby snacks in his system. Those were the words of Clean Cut. Then we have my guy, a Terence Bud Crawford fan, one of the best Terence Bud Crawford fans that I ever engaged with, even on this panel, my guy Gregory Quarterbomb. I don't know why the thing is lacking here. Let me do this right now because it's not letting me show the super chats. Let me do this. Hold on. Hold on. Last time they locked me out and messed the whole thing up. Let me see. Let me see if that. All right, so there it is. Greg Quarterbomb, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel as always. Greg says, Manager Marty, you have a Mr. Shaheed stating that Bud was using undetected PEDs unchallenged. This is a problem. Well, I give everybody an opportunity, Greg, and you know this, and all the audience know this. If they come on a panel, everybody have the opportunity to provide their opinions and their perspectives, as long as everybody is respectful to each other. So I can't control what the man said, but that's his opinion. And it's all good on here, just as equally as I give, Terrence Ball Crawford fans the same, platform to do the same thing. So I appreciate that. Mike Jones, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Mike Jones, the question is, why do you think he pulled out of negotiations the first time? I don't know if that's a real question, but I do know that the Real Marlo TV believes, like he just said, that he prolonged the first negotiations, possibly because he was just starting to hook up with Victor Conti, and that was the words of the Real Marlo TV. We have S.J. Hampton. Thank you, S.J. Hampton, for your contribution and your support to the channel. Salute. I don't recall seeing you before in the chat, so I welcome you. Thank you for your viewership as well. S.J. Hampton says, I don't get why they don't understand the possibilities of boxers cheating, willing to win. Neither one of the two fighters looked the same that night. I was one of the first content creators to break that part of S.J. Hampton's last sentence, that neither one of these guys looked the same. And we weren't used to seeing Crawford look like that, or Spence in that fight. I think I said that about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Mr. Pragmatic Family, my guy, always a pleasure. Salute to you, fam. Thank you for your viewership and being able to make it today and your contribution. Mr. Pragmatic says, support for the channel. Then my guy, Terrell Barnes, who was just on the panel, he also blessed us. Thank you for your contribution, Terrell, always, man. Bud has a patternist behavior of associating himself with misfits, such as Daniel Kinahan as well as Victor Conti. PBC didn't want to deal with Bud because of Daniel. That is a fact, and the reason why Terrell's saying that is because on IG's live that Terence Ball Crawford did, he alluded to Al Heyman asking him about Daniel Kinahan. Thank you all for your contribution and your support. Shani, am I pronouncing your name correctly? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are.
Shani, you are the first woman that ever graced us with your presence on our panel. And before you start, Shani, just because you're here, I got to stop my show right now and be able to salute all the women that are watching live and live in color and the replay of this live. As a gentleman, I always acknowledge all the ladies that support the sport of boxing and support this channel. So I salute and welcome every queen that's watching all around the world. Shani, this is the first time you've been on my panel. I'm not sure if I've seen your name in the chat before, but I want to say welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice calling in and listening to you guys. It's kind of funny to me just because, for one, I want to give up to Bud. You feel me? Like, Bud is one of the most underrated, underappreciated boxers, I feel like, in the welterweight division. And I feel like he gets so much flack. Anything that he does and is an excuse. It's something. It's always something, right? But I'm just questioning, like, if Errol would have beat Terence that bad and he would have won, would everybody be questioning if he was using PEDs?
Well, the difference is that's what Earl do. He beat guys up that bad all the time. But
okay, Crawford has beat guys down.
Not like that.
Look what he did to Sean Porter.
He ain't beat him like that.
He beat Sean Porter.
Sean Porter was,
and irritated the fact that he kept getting knocked down. So
Porter beat.
I feel for Crawford
winning
so bad, because this is like Errol. Why can't nobody just take the fact that Errol sucked that night? Errol looked flustered before he even came in and on the ring walk. Errol didn't have, he did, it was like somebody who was floating to the fucking ring. Like, excuse my language, but it's just so frustrating that Errol, everybody has to make excuses for the Golden Boy because he's never looked that bad. Well, he came across an opponent that obviously made him look that bad.
I think what you're saying is true, because in my case, I'm a big fan of Earl from watching him in the amateurs, but I think what it is, it's just like anything else. You don't want to see your favorite guy win, But we all know on this panel, if we being honest, there's no way Earl should be fighting at 147. The man, he's my age. He's 33. What is he doing fighting that small? I mean, Earl's not a big guy at all. I see him in the airport. He's like 5'9", so he's a little guy, but I don't think he's little enough to be 147. I really think, like you said, he looked
And
dehydrated,
nobody
but
talks
no
about
matter
the
what,
defense.
no matter what, he got beat to death. I
Nobody
mean,
brings
what you're
up the
saying is
defense
absolutely
that
true.
night.
I want to say
I
His
something.
defense was horrible.
I want to say something.
Horrible.
Y'all saying that Terence Crawford looked good, but the only reason why Terence Crawford looked like that because Earl Spence was weight drained or whatever the case might be by him trying to fight Terence Crawford at 147. I believe that it was a risk that he took to fight Terence Crawford at 147, knowing that he was talking about, the weight, him making weight was a problem for him. So that was a risk that he took. I think he should have went up and fought Terence Crawford at 154. But what I'm saying is, we giving Terence Crawford his credit for beating Earl Spence. But the reason why Terence Crawford looked as strong because Earl Spence
What'll
looked
be
the
the
weak.
difference?
Look, the reason why Earl Spence
Well,
looked
what'll be the difference from 54?
the man been saying since way back in Mikey Garcia that him trying to make the weight 147 is a problem for him. That's what he been saying. So when he put on more weight, anybody knows if you put on more weight, you feel comfortable. Even matter of fact, Charlo said it when he was in an interview. I think a day ago, he was talking about how he feel more wholesome and feel better putting on more weight than him draining down to 154. And we all know majority of these fighters drain themselves down to fight at a lower weight, and Terence Crawford was coming up. Now, I'm not saying that, and even Terence Crawford said it was a problem for him to make 147. So we all know that putting on more weight is comfortable for a fighter like Earl Spence, who been talking about making 147 was a problem. What I'm saying is Earl Spence didn't look like himself in that ring. And we saying that Terence Crawford looked like a magnificent fighter, but the reason why he looked like that because Earl Spence wasn't himself. That's all I'm saying. So it's different.
I can tell you why he looked like that.
Well,
I can tell you why he looked like that.
Everybody has their own opinion. So I mean, your opinion and my opinion is all opinion. But anybody that watched Earl Spence fight know that the Earl Spence that was in that ring was not the Earl Spence that we know. That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, at 154, I believe the fight will be better for Earl Spence fighting Terence Crawford. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, then
And let me say this before you go, Marlo. You know the funny thing about it? When we talk about Earl Spence, we making excuses that he won't make. He said, I'm not making an excuse. I lost. I mean, listen.
What did you watch? Because I heard the man say,
I'm going off what the fighters said. The fighters
well,
said,
he did say something.
if I had an excuse, let me finish. If I had an excuse, I wouldn't give it to you. That's what Earl said.
No, he did give it. He did say something. He said something about the weight. He said something about that he was off and everything about him was off in this ring. He did say that. He didn't say I ain't gonna say nothing. He actually said something. Even Derrick James said that. They was talking about the weight and things. So what are you saying? What he telling you is not a excuse.
He gave Dan Rayfield. He told Dan Rayfield, and it's funny because I got to speak to Dan, and he told Dan Rayfield, if I had an excuse, I wouldn't give it to you.
So you didn't hear him on the stage. You didn't hear him on the stage.
I heard him on the stage. I'm just going off what he said directly after the fight.
I'm telling you, this is what he said. This is what he said on the stage, Earl Spence, out of his mouth. So you don't want to take that, but you'll take what he said somewhere else. He said out of his own mouth on the stage that everything about him was off and talking about his timing. And he said, he was talking about the weight. So he actually said that. So you don't want that. You want to take something else.
That's what I say to that. That's what I say to that. And Marty, you know this just as well as I do. That's why they got these names for us as Earl, what they call them, Earl sexuals and stuff. It's because we cannot.
They don't use that. They don't use that language. That language is unacceptable on this channel. I don't
okay,
know
my bad. But what I'm saying is that's something I've heard from people in comments as well. What I'm saying is this: we can never get to a place where we love a fighter more than we love the sport. No matter what, I'm gonna be honest with you. Errol Spence can come and go. I'm ready for the next one. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is we just seen a terrific performance by one of the best fighters. And you know what Roy Jones said it better. These guys are hard. I'm just making them look easy. And he just made a fighter who we thought is great look easy.
Look, bro. Let listen. You say why people make excuses when Earl Spence not making excuses for himself. First of all, it ain't no excuse. It's just what I seen. Second, I ain't Earl Spence, and I ain't his attorney. None of that. So what he won't say don't mean what something I won't say. I can say what I want to say. He say what he want to say. So we two different
I
people.
wasn't making it towards you. I'm just making it
I know. I
yeah.
the people say that too. You know, in my comment section or anywhere, I heard them say that. They say Earl ain't making excuses, or why the fans make it. Hey, bro, I ain't Earl. First of all, and you know, and that ain't no excuse. That's just what I seen. And then another thing, why do Terence Crawford fans? This the thing about these people, man, or people who think like they or same narrative is they pushing. Why do they say that? Why am I say? Why do they say that Terence Crawford? I forgot what I was about to say because I was waiting.
It's all good. It's all good. I have a question though, and I got my guy YSM Sports Media here.
Was good.
The thing about it is this: everybody is entitled to provide their vantage point, their observation, irregardless of who won or lost this fight. This was the biggest fight of the century. This is how this fight was promoted. Most of us waited year after year for this fight to happen. So everyone is entitled to have their opinion, or even if you think there was something fishy about it on Crawford end or Spence end. The bottom line is there's a fact to be remained that everybody on this panel, everybody in the chat, and everybody watching me live in living color can agree to, that both fighters look different. It doesn't matter what the reason is for. The bottom line is we all have our own observations. And the thing about it is we should all have the opportunity to express those observations without anybody being criticized. And that's, this is why I had the panel open up so that everybody can now have an opportunity. And even though people can call me this hater or that hater, the bottom line is I open my platform up to even have both fans, Errol Spence fans and Terence Ball Crawford fans alike, come on the panel. And I dedicated an entire segments for both fans to give their perspective, whether I agreed or not. I remain neutral.
I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is this, and it's the thing: we can never get so in love with a fighter that we forget about the sport. The thing is this: that wasn't the Earl we used to seeing. But you know what? Let's just be honest. Earl has made decisions throughout his career that have come back as chickens coming to roost. No one told Earl Spence to drive drunk. No one told Earl to do that. We got to be honest. Earl has lost some things in the ring because of his own choices. So we got to admit that as well. I mean, we can't just come here and
But
say, "Go ahead."
but the issue I'm having with that logic though is that when Errol Spence fought Danny Garcia and he won, nobody said that. When he beat Ugas last year, nobody said that. So we can't even use that as the fact that Bud beat him. Bud beat him fair and square, and we can't use none of the excuses now, because then that would be an excuse if we say it was because of his car wreck, it was because of his lifestyle, it's because of this. We can't make those type of excuses. That, to me, that's more than an excuse than what we're hearing now after the fight is all over. YSM Sports Media, you are here on the panel. I have you, Detail, and Real Marlowe. You three guys practically made me famous before I even got on YouTube. I appreciate you being on the panel, YSM. Oh, he just got off. I think his signal keeps jumping off. Well, anyway, when he comes back on, I'll let him on. Shani, let me ask you a question. In your observation of not just this fight, but I assume that are you a Crawford fan?
Yes.
Okay. So in your opinion as a fan of Terence Crawford, when you saw him knock out David Evanesian, personally as a fan, how did you feel about it? What was your observation of that fight?
Dave Ebenezer, I can't recall. I'm not gonna speak on something that I haven't seen in a while. So, but
Okay.
as far as this fight, I did see the difference in IQ. That's another thing that a lot of people aren't giving Crawford credit for. That his boxing ability is one of a kind, and I seen how much he backed Spence down, and I just feel like Terence is fearless because he didn't know he thought he was gonna run into a good Earl too. He didn't know he was gonna get that type of Earl in the ring. Like he said, he was shocked himself. Like, damn, well, he's not hitting this hard. And they say Errol's a very a power puncher, and he didn't have that punching ability in the ring. So, like, I feel like everyone has to make an excuse because in this case, I guess Errol is like Superman, and and Terrence is like Batman. And it's like everybody's taking a pick, like who's my favorite superhero, and they both fighting the same fight. Terrence just doesn't get the fight because I guess he's not marketable. I think it's because of his marketability. I guess he doesn't have the face for it, because if it would have been anybody else, it wouldn't have been like that. They would get way more respect than he's getting for putting Errol down. Who put him down 3 times in a fight? 3 times. We've never seen Errol be down 3 times. You mean to tell me that it's just because he's gassed, or he's just because he's tired, or what happened?
Johnny,
like that's my thing. If people
like you just said, kind of like you saying part of what we saying. If you just said that Bud said that he wasn't gonna get that part of Earl, is that not some of what we saying?
He didn't know. Well, yeah, he didn't know that he was gonna have a bad night. Like everybody wanted it to be like a fair fight. Like both of them were going in and giving blows, but Errol not just to have a bad night, but that's the thing. Everybody just hung up on that part of it. Give the winner's props. Like it takes so much out of people just to say, "Oh my God, he didn't win."
If Earl is best that night, if you saying what we saying,
huh?
How do we give Bud the most credit, all the credit, if the Earl that we usually see wasn't in the ring? You saying what we saying in a way, but we saying more. So if you saying like
for me, I'm not using that as an excuse though. I'm not saying that because he looks like he's fake drained and everything. He knew what he was supposed to go up in there and do. Even if he was tired and all this everything, Crawford could have went in there the same way. Obviously, he was on a whole different level when he went into the ring. It's not his fault that Errol. And one thing, I said it again. I said it before in the first. I said the defense was horrible. Nobody. The most of the time he let this man punch him in the face. So it's because I'm weight drained. Who knows? I don't give a damn if I am super tired. I don't want to get punched in the face. I'm gonna block myself and make sure that I'm covering and doing whatever I can. Terence, he didn't take a beating because obviously Errol was throwing him, but obviously he didn't have the packing power. So what he was doing most of the time, blocking the punches, bobbing and weaving. You didn't see none of that. Errol stood in front of all of them punches like he was Superman, and he was just throwing haymakers like I was gonna be done. He looked like Deontay Wilder out there, and that's really bad.
Why do Bud fans act like it wasn't Bud plan to keep Earl Spence out of the ring to get him to look a certain way? Why do Bud fans act like that wasn't intentional on Bud's behalf to prolong the fight? If he's so badass, what he waiting so long for?
That's why he waited, because that was personal between like contracts and everything like that. As far as like the business side, I think I don't know if there was like somebody waiting out. I think he'd been wanting it. I think both of them actually wanted to fight each other. I don't think they were ducking one another. Like I really feel like they wanted to fight. They couldn't get the business together, and for however long it took, that's what it took for the fight. But that's just another reason to say why Earl won. Okay, so he waited it out. So because he's weight trained. What's another excuse? Because Crawford took PEDs. What are we talking about? Wait, no. The gloves were loaded. The gloves were loaded. Obviously, the man had his hand open up in the gloves, but the fucking gloves were loaded with bricks and stones, and that's what made Earl have a fucking size of a knot of a cartoon character on his forehead. Because and oh my God, this is I guess we should give like two different viewpoints. Because
is it a fact or an excuse that Bud did that happen or did that not happen? Bud gloves busted open versus amnesia. Did that happen or did that not?
It didn't happen in the Spence fight.
Did it happen Asia fight. That's what I'm asking.
Saying like Terence is fighting just another trope to try to take away from what he's done.
Right now, before we get to the next question, did his gloves bust versus the dude?
Even if the glove busted, so a glove can't bust in a fight?
Both of them? Hell no. What they busting for?
Y'all got all the excuses. But what happened? Why are you bringing the glove up now? Like, why are you bringing the glove up now in this fight?
I want to ask the question. We not making excuses. We are giving Terence Crawford his win. We not disputing that. We just saying that we see on my channel before the fight, I say I give Terence Crawford 40% and I give Errol Spence 60%. I said that I won't be surprised if Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence, and I won't be surprised if Errol Spence beat Terence Crawford. See, the difference is we watch Errol Spence fight. We're not talking about people who don't actually watch it.
I watch Earl fight.
Well, then if you really, I'm talking about if I'm talking about people, it's different in between looking and watching. We know how Errol Spence fight. That's the reason why we can say he wasn't the same Errol Spence. But see, you have many people saying that Errol Spence was 100%. It's because those people don't watch.
After a loss, the loser was never the same after a loss. The winner is always seen as a winner. As soon as a winner loses, then it's always going to be looked at as something's wrong.
We talking about
never going to be looked at as being right.
We talking about before the fight. We're not talking about after the fight. We talking about. I knew that Errol Spence wasn't the same in the first round when they gave Errol Spence the first round. I told my wife, I said, this man is not the same. I said, something is off. But you keep talking about that Terence Crawford looked all like this and like this and like this. But the reason why he looked like that is because Errol Spence wasn't 100%. Now, if you listen to Errol Spence after the fight, he said that Terence Crawford came to fight. He said Terence Crawford was 100%. Errol Spence never said he was 100%. So what we saying is we're not making excuses. We telling you what we saw. You know what I'm saying? That's what we said. We're not just making up nothing. We telling you what we saw. That's the difference.
I think what I saw. He looked like he was kind of zooted, like he probably was in that Tyson pack and took a couple of them edibles or something. And that's another thing too.
Come on, man. You flipping now. You flipping.
No. Let me get it off. So wait. Hold on.
Let it talk.
What is the outside activity outside of boxing? What is life looking like? So you want to put up two of them together, what their stat sheets look like when they're off like when they're not in the ring. So Earl, probably he slowed down on the drinking, he slowed down on the partying, but at a certain point in his life, he was out in the streets. He was living his life like a rapper. Terence Crawford does not drink, he does not smoke, he's a spiritual person. And so a lot of that times too, like that's gonna count in a fight too. He could have been smoking weed all weekend, and it's like,
come on now, you tripping? You tripping?
You said he didn't look. You said he didn't look the same. Y'all trying to make it all drastic, like, oh my god, like he needs to go get some surgery, or he probably needs to go get his head checked. The nigga probably
never said that.
Johnny,
we never said that.
Hold on, Johnny.
Hold on, D. Room, and before he came down to the and yeah.
Johnny, can I say something real quick, Johnny? We don't use the N-word on the panel, sweetheart.
Excuse my language. I'm sorry about that. It's split. I won't say it again.
All right. No, I appreciate you, sweetheart. It's all right. So it's all right. So people in the chat are asking me to ask you this. I don't see what the point of asking you this is, but everybody's asking me to ask you. Are you a relative of Crawford, or you just like a fan of his? Do you know him personally?
I'm not a relative, no. I'm a person, I'm a fan, and I'm an objective fan. I'm not going to be a person that's not going to give a person a props. I give Earl a lot of his props, but this fight, it's kind of like hard to give a props. You know, I'm not going to lie. Like, that's just my thing. Like,
yeah,
for what I seen that night.
Because he got beat up. Yeah.
Of course. So much you can say. Like, after the first round, it wasn't really too much that he could do. Like, so, but that part of it, no, I'm not a super extra fan. Everybody wants to be like, oh, well, if you're killing Arrow like that, then you must be a hater. Like, no, people get, it's the same thing Roy Jones Jr. was talking about. Like, you say anything about Arrow, then you're automatically labeled a hater. Like, you must
Hey,
be with
Shawnee.
those team. And it's not
Hey,
that
Shawnee,
Earl is very likable. Earl is very talented, so I can't take
Shawnee,
that
can I
away
tell
from him.
you, Shawnee, can I tell you my experiences on YouTube? If I say anything about Crawford, good or bad, people are going to call me a hater.
Right.
You know, I had a question for you, Shawnee. Do you know who Victor Conti is?
Mr. Conti, I'm hearing like you guys he's supposed to be like some is he like medical staff or juicer or something like that?
Yeah, he is the founder of Balco, which was a company who basically they had a positive front, but in real life, what they really were doing, they were advertising that they were testing the blood levels of different athletes, but in real life, what he was doing was he was actually creating, manufacturing, detective the undetectable steroids, PEDs, and he also had a friend of his who was a chemist, and they put their minds together to basically produce and manufacture and distribute it and sell uh, undetectable steroids. I'm not just telling you that. This is why he was federally indicted. There's a Netflix special that just premiered on Tuesday of his life. I mean, most people that know boxing, they remember who he is because he helped Sugar Shane Mosley. I don't know if you know who Sugar Shane Mosley is, but he helped Sugar Shane Mosley inject himself with steroids when he fought a lot of his fights, including the second rematch fight with Oscar De La Hoya. Now, after he does 4 months in jail 20 years ago, he has made a resurgence in the sport of boxing for the last 15 of those 20 years. And he's found himself basically working with other fighters, including Terence Crawford. So I think what's happening is that people are starting to get suspicious because in the last several fights, you know, Terence Crawford has been with him. Now, before the Sean Porter fight, Crawford wasn't working with him that we know of. But Victor Conti in the snack program, as I call it, they were advertising, you know, basically announcing that Crawford is down with them and he's using their supplements and he's working out at their gym and all this kind of stuff. So it's been getting people to have their eyebrows raised, like why is Crawford going over there with this guy who has a history of being a part of undetectable steroids and giving them to athletes?
Okay, can I say this?
Yes, ma'am.
So like an example. So I'm a journalist, and I actually happen to be plugged and linked in with Oprah, and she's my mentor. And everything I go about my journalism career, anything I need from her, any advice or whatever, I go to her because she's obviously successful in what she does. Oprah is known to be like the black hand in the industry. But because I'm a journalist, I'm trying to get my career off the ground, and I have someone that's super successful like Oprah. I stand next to her. I get labeled to be like a black hand in the industry, and I have no fucking clue about any of the ins and outs of nothing that she does. All I know is I'm trying to get myself established in this area that I'm trying to be a pro or trying to be a success. So just because I stand next to this person does not mean that I'm using it or I'm doing it. I'm trafficking or anything.
Right. Well, let me put this spin on it.
That makes me guilty by association, but it doesn't make me guilty because I'm not in those rooms with the people.
Right. Here's something I want to put into your example that you just referenced about Oprah, if I may. In your scenario, you were up and coming, trying to make a name for yourself. Right. You're trying to make a name for yourself. And so you're going to watch everything Oprah does. You're new to the industry. In Terence Crawford's case, he's almost 37 years old and he looks better than he did even 10 years ago. And he's also hanging around with the guy who, for the last 20 something years, well, actually, he started in 1984, so 38 years, he's been doing this stuff with the steroids. So I would say that's a little bit of difference. But I will tell you a scenario that I gave on this channel just a few days ago. Even if R. Kelly got out of prison tomorrow and he signed a big, let's say $1 billion marketing deal, let's say with Sony, Shawnee, I have to be honest with you. I have 3 daughters. I would not allow any of my daughters to do a recording with R. Kelly, even though he may have changed his life and did time in prison. That's just what I'm saying.
So that's the thing. Like, what is it? Does he have like a personal relationship? Like, what is it just a business relationship? Because if it's a personal thing, then a person is going to be indebted to whoever the person is, no matter what the situation is. Terence Crawford. If he knows that old boy is doing what he does, and he makes a conscious decision to still deal with him after all the allegations and the things that people are saying about this man, he obviously is loyal to them and does not care about the backlash or whatever people think. And you have to be really confident in that area to do that, because obviously just standing next to the guy, they're going to suspect that you're juicing. I haven't heard
that is true.
Terence Crawford being a juicer from. I only heard this now that Errol, he beat the fuck out of Errol. So it's
right.
Well, like
right.
So.
But Shawnee,
Yeah.
I'm not publicly saying that he's juicing. What I'm saying is, to your point, Shawnee, Terence Crawford definitely knows the history of Victor Conte. Everybody in boxing knows his history. So if he's choosing to go stand over there, let me just answer your question about does he have a personal relationship or business? Well, he's taking the supplements. He's working in his gym. He's using his equipment in the gym. He's taking pictures with the guy. He's using his formula. He's on a calendar basically every day to be able to be on his strength and conditioning program. So that's more than just I'm just standing next to the guy. And that's what's raising suspicion. You understand what I'm saying, right, Shawnee?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get it. I mean, how long have he been down with this guy?
He's been down with him since April of 2021. April of 2021, he's been with him.
Okay.
And then the last 3 fights, including the Spence fight, he kind of looked different in some of his performance levels. And I think that's why people have these suspicions, not trying to accuse Bud of anything, but everybody's making their observations because all the facts that's presented before all of us. That's just the best way I can explain it. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Say that again, Shawnee. Oh, Shawnee's off. I think Shawnee. I'm listening to you, D-Champ.
I think Shawnee turned Crawford cousin.
That's Terence Crawford's cousin. Well, I mean, that's okay if she's his cousin. I mean, she's more than welcome to join the show. I mean, that's fine. She's back now. Shawnee, you
Hey, my
you
bad.
had went
I
out,
lost
Shawnee.
just now. Yeah, I did. No, but I just want to wrap because I gotta go into this place. But I was just saying, I just called in to try to give credit to where it's. I know other guys said this. Don't give credit here. Go somewhere else for it. But I want to give them the credit because at this point in your career, you should at least reap the benefits, reap the fruit of your labor. At least he stayed down a whole lot. To this day, he's still trying to fight for his identity in this boxing game, and he literally did the unthinkable. So I'm proud of it. I love to see it. Errol Spence is a phenomenal boxer as well. For whatever reason, he had a weak night. I hope that he could bounce back. I don't think he should rematch. I don't think he should take that, even if he can wait, even if he goes to 54, because it's not. Just because you are better there, like weight wise, doesn't mean the IQ is going to change. What are you going to still do with the same techniques that he did to beat you? Are you going to just stand in the boxing ring and do what you were doing and holding and all this other stuff that you make other fighters do? Are you going to go toe to toe with this dude and stop being scared and throw punches, go throw down? That's the only way you can win with Terence Crawford. You're going to have to throw down. You're going to have to hit harder than he does. So hopefully it works in his advantage. If not, then he should sit this out. It's only so many times, because if you get beat the second time, what people going to say? We need a trilogy. No, at this time, we want to get his ass beat 3 times. But, I feel like he should just let that go and just try to go to the next fight and just call it what it is.
How can
Don't
somebody?
I
even
got you.
if Terence want to take that fight, it's not gonna be what y'all think it is. The same way y'all didn't think it was gonna be the way it was when Errol got in there the first time.
The
How
rematch.
you know? How do you know how it's gonna be then?
Because I'm Nostradamus, I see everything before it happens.
Girl, please, quit playing.
I
You
see it
tripping?
happen when I see it happen.
Hey,
Hey,
sister, quit
Shawnee.
playing, sister.
Hey,
Hey, you
Shawnee.
quit playing, sister.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey, Shawnee. Shawnee,
Yeah,
is this your first time watching my channel?
this is my first time.
Wow, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much. You had enough courage to come. Hey, Shawnee, you had more courage to come on my panel than grown men who I begged for 3 hours the other day to come up here. I got to
yep.
salute you, sweetheart.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
Shawnee, let me tell you this, Shawnee. This is not a Terence Bud Crawford hate channel. We love the sport of boxing. I am a professional boxing manager. I advise fighters. I've been doing it for years. All I do is call everything the way I see it. You are more than welcome to come on my panel, come on the chat anytime you want, Shawnee, and I appreciate you coming in.
Awesome. It's nice talking to you guys.
Say before she
Always
leave,
a
Go
pleasure.
the rematch. Go Bud.
hey,
Go Bud.
before she leave, I need to ask her a question. If you could see everything before it happened, then why you didn't know that how long Terence Crawford been dealing with Victor Conti?
Because I'm not on that side of the things. But business stuff, that's none of my business, honey. That's none of
All
my
right.
business. That's none of my business.
Hey, D-Town.
Ain't no chatty patty.
She
I
don't
don't know
know.
none of that. I don't know none of
Yeah,
that.
she don't know. Yeah, she
I
don't know
don't
Victor
know.
Conti, but
And I'm hearing it's probably a good thing I don't know about him. So.
she don't know him, but she just met me today. So
Yes, sir.
Shawnee, you don't know Victor, but you're starting to meet me. You're starting to learn who Man Jamarty is. Now just tell me this and I'll let you go. If you can see what's in the future, can you please find out if Terence Bud Crawford to come on this channel and give me an interview? Is that possible?
Oh my gosh.
I'm just asking, is
Terrence
it
so
possible?
humble. Look, Terrence so humble. You just go ahead and hit him up in his DM. He may say so. He giving everybody interviews right now.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He might not go in detail in the real Marlos, but I mean, hopefully he come on my joint.
Right. It can happen.
Hey,
Yeah, come
Shanti,
over.
can you help me set that up, Shanti? Can you help me set that up
No
live and
problem.
live in color right now in front of 600 people? Hey, Shanti,
Okay,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
playing.
try.
We got
I'll
600
try.
people
No
watching.
promises.
Huh?
I said I'll try. No promises.
All right. Well, listen, Shanti, we're glad to have you. All you got to do is tell him who I am. I'm sure him and Bernie and the rest of them guys, they know something about me. I don't know what, but they know something about who I am. I don't know what, but I will tell you this. I'm very accessible. My email is accessible on this channel, on the About section. So if you do happen to set it up, Shanti, make sure you email me. Let's set this thing up. We got 700 people watching live and living color. And you know you gave your word to almost 1,000 people, Shanti. So you know they're going to hold you to it now.
I know they will. Y'all keep me up on it, okay?
Will do. Thank you. Salute to you,
I'll be
Queen.
back.
Thank you for your presence.
Thank you.
Say no
Thanks for the
more.
talk.
Absolutely. You got it. I got to get these super chats out now. Shanti is the first woman that ever in the history of Manager Marty's channel that came up here live and living color. And like I said before, she got more heart than some of these guys I was begging to. She got more heart than Rick Glaser. She got more heart than other content creators that were supposed to come up here. Real Marlo, we might not agree with everything she said, but the girl got heart. We got to respect her, man.
She do got heart for Bud Cousin. I know she definitely part of it. I think she one of them girls that was recorded goddamn Jamel Charlo wife whoop on Jamal wife. She was in that car recording, talking about whoop that girl. I see. That was her.
Oh man. We got Black Preacher Man. Thank you for your support and your contribution to the channel, Black Preacher Man. He says, we got to understand, it looked like to me, it is a money grab. It will be karma in the rematch. EJ beats Bud bad. Get ready for a thrill around the end of 2024. That was Black Preacher Man. And we also have Mike Jones. Mike Jones, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Mike Jones says, Errol wanted Bud out 15 months. Bud stretched him out at 147 as long as he could until 147 caught up to Errol. Good strategy. I would have to agree with you, Mike Jones. That was a good strategy. And you can't get mad at Bud for that one. Marcus E., salute to you as well. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Marcus E. says, remember when the Rams lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl the same year Spygate happened? Marshall Falk said the Patriots had cause for plays that hadn't even run before. I think he is referring to the relationship between Victor Conti and Terence Bud Crawford with that comment. And we have Shawnee, hope I'm pronouncing this name pronouncing his name correctly. Shawnee Harris says, thank you, Shawnee Harris, for your contribution and your support to the channel. And because there's so many guests in the background, it keeps messing up the connection here. Let me refresh the page, y'all. Hold on right there, Detail and Marlo. Stay right there. Let me try to refresh this thing because we have another guest that I want to let on. He's been in the background for a while. Okay, so we're back, and yes, it's Shawnee. I apologize, Shawnee. So that was the contribution from Shawnee. Thank you for your contribution and your support, Shawnee. Thank you very much. We have Band Up. We know who Band Up is. Band Up been on this panel. He is an avid Terence Bud Crawford fan. He's highly respected on this channel because he has no problem keeping it real, even if Terence Crawford is wrong. But I know the way Band Up is shaking his head. I've been around him a little long enough now. I know he's ready to cook. Band Up, you got Real Marlo TV here. My guy, Detail Boxing. These guys are family members of mine, and they will not take it easy on you because I know you got some fire.
Oh yeah.
Band Up is
Oh
all on
yeah.
you.
Yo, first I gotta salute my boy Marty. Marty, that was the funniest chat ever yesterday. That was the funniest video ever yesterday when he said, "Don't regulation me." I almost crashed my car. that boy Marty had me in tears yesterday all day. All day I was laughing. He said, "Bro, he cut out on you twice." Marty was ready to do him. Marty was ready to. Hey, that was the funniest video ever. That was funny. That had me going. That had me going. That had me going. All right, Marty, you gonna throw me up in there, man? You gonna give me a wrench? Because I'm getting better at this. You said your thing is roll the tape, baby.
Yes,
and I got some notes. You know what I mean? I got some notes and I got some roll the tapes. First, I'm gonna start out with what my guy name? Hold on. First, the dude that was on before you let Real Marlo and Detail on. Caught. He said he got caught with gloves. Didn't you guys just say he knocked him out? So, and if I'm not mistaken, Bud ain't the only person that's been beating people up and got got ripped gloves in the in the process of doing it. The difference between Bud and Tyson Fury, there's actual documentation that Tyson Fury does this to his opponents in training camp. One of his opponents quit on him. He said, I went up to go use my gloves, and they said I couldn't use my gloves. They gave me some gloves for Tyson to fight Tyson Fury, and the gloves that Tyson Fury had more padding, and the one I had more padding, and you can feel Tyson Fury's knuckles through the gloves. There's way more history with Tyson Fury than it is Bud Crawford. So we're not gonna sit here and put Bud Crawford in the same light as Tyson cheating Fury. You dig? We're gonna leave that to that heavyweight man by himself. Because what he had to do, bro, and another thing, Errol Spence did not bring what Wilder brought to the table when it comes to fighting an opponent. Wilder 92% knockout rating. Come on now, he's knocking everybody down. Let's get that out the way. I got some roll to tape from my guy BVO, and I got some roll to tape from my guy D-Town Boxing. And matter of fact, first D-Town Boxing, I'm gonna go there because you on. I'm gonna get BVO a little later. D-Town Boxing, I got a question for you. Did you find out what Crawford was about? Because you said in this video, I'm still trying to see what Crawford is about. Did you find out what that man was about?
No,
Because he sure enough showed it.
no, because he fought.
He's about PED.
Okay, hold up. And I got some roll to tape. I got some roll to tape for you, BBO.
No, wait.
Right here.
I didn't answer you. I didn't answer you.
Okay.
Terence Crawford fought a Errol Spence that was not 100%. That it was something wrong with him. So I still got questions that need to be answered, and I think I would get that at 154. So I ain't found out what Terence Crawford is about.
All right. So right here, let me see.
Crawford gonna have to fight on the inside, and we see.
So right here,
he got clipped by again.
You were in this video. This is 3 weeks ago on the Crawford and Spence review, and you were bringing up how Crawford had to fight and how Errol had to fight inside. I want you to take a look at what you said, my man.
Crawford gonna have to fight on the inside, and we seen what happened when he got clipped by Gamboa on the inside. We seen what happened when he got knocked down by Mean Machine on the inside. Terence Crawford is not a great inside fighter, so he's going to have to stay on the outside. And we also know that Errol Spence can box. He went further in the amateurs than Terence Crawford, and just because.
So right there, my man, you said Terence Crawford could not fight on the inside, right? What I've had to say on this previous channel that Terence Crawford hears all the things, just like Errol when he got on my man's. He hears everything. And what's been proven is Terence likes to beat you at what? Your game. He likes to beat you at what you like to do. That's been something that Terence is over his whole career, that Terence likes to beat you at your game. You know what I mean? So of course when you got a man fighting. Listen. No. When you got a man fighting, when you got a man fighting on the inside and he's beating the brakes off you and your timing isn't right, it's gonna make you look different. That's one thing. I got another roll to take for you, my man. I'm gonna give you a chance to answer all of them. I promise you. I promise you.
Let us talk. Let us say something back to you because you're saying a lot of stuff and you ain't giving us time to say anything. You know what you are saying.
I'm slow down. I've been waiting. So I've been in the background for a minute. Yeah, I'm kind of amped up, but let's go.
It seems like that you cooking, but you ain't cooking. You just saying some stuff. What I'm saying is, we all saying that Errol Spence is not 100% Errol Spence. That's what we saying. So everything you saying is off of an Errol Spence that didn't look like Errol Spence. So I understand if Errol Spence looked like the Errol Spence, everything you saying, I would give you credit for what you saying. But we still saying he was not the same Errol Spence. That's what we saying.
That's saying for what you guys are saying. Errol Spence didn't give that recollection, and neither did Derrick James. Only Errol Spence supporters are saying Errol Spence didn't look the same. Only Errol Spence. What did you hear Errol say he didn't look the same? I'm missing something.
We heard Derrick James what he said, and we also heard what Errol Spence said what he said. He was up on the stage. They did say something. I don't think you heard him. That's what the problem is. You didn't hear him.
What are they? No, I'm asking you. We keeping it facts. So what did he say? What was exactly that they said that was wrong? Because I've been watching everything.
He heard.
Well, you must have missed it because if you did, you wouldn't be asking me.
They said the better man won. There's no excuses to be made. My timing was off.
No,
Errol Spence said everything about me was off this night. That's what he said. He said that Terence Crawford came in ready. He was at 100%. Errol Spence never said he was 100%. And then Errol Spence said that I know I'm better than this. I will be better at 154. Derrick James said I saw something in Errol Spence that didn't look right. He didn't have his legs. He looked it off. Errol Spence said my timing was off also. So he's telling you that he was off this night. He's not going to tell you everything. He's not supposed to tell you everything. He only giving you just a little bit of what was wrong. And if anybody who actually watched Errol Spence fights can say or tell what was wrong with Errol Spence, I don't need him to tell me. I know what I saw. That's the difference.
You saw only that.
Okay. So look.
Hold on.
You said what?
On top of that,
I'm listening.
too did an interview the other day, and guess what he said? He said, well, he know they gonna win at 154. He said that the weight and everything was off. He said everything D-Town just said, bro. So what you do? You not listening, bro.
I'm listening. I'm listening. Hey, did you? Hey, you seen? Hold up. You seen that? You seen? Hey, hold up. I want you. You guys talk about Derrick James. I want you to notice something. So that Jamel Charlo, when he was on the Breakfast Club, right? I look. If you guys notice, Derrick James is behind him. Derrick James is nonchalant. He doing, you know what I mean? But when Charlamagne started hitting, what's it called? Charlo with the questions about Errol Spence and would he be ready to discern? Look at Derrick James. Look how Derrick James just shoot over and just focus on every word that Charlamagne saying and every word that Charlo's saying and every word. He is so he's scared right now. Derrick James is more worried than you guys expect.
That's his man, bro.
He's more worried than you guys expect. His body language shows it. Everything is showing it. Hey, we could.
He can't do too much. It's not his interview. So you tripping, bro? What the hell you talking about? How Derrick James looking in the background?
Derrick James and Errol Spence were shown to be arrogant and weren't prepared to fight Terence Crawford. That's why they lost. Terence Crawford came in the ring better prepared than Spence has ever prepared for any of his fights. He comes in the fight the exact same way. You claim that there's a weight issue. He's always been whining about the weight issue, but he's always won. So we haven't said much about it. This time he came into the ring with somebody who was more talented, more prepared, more accomplished. And the very first round, he got knocked off balance with one punch. The second round, he got dropped easily. Now, I'm on record last year for saying, you can ask Marty's on tape, that Terence Crawford would beat Errol Spence easily. Easily. There was no talk about PEDs. There was no talk about the snack program. There was no talk about Earl coming in, weight drain, none of that. He came in the same way he's always come in. He just met somebody who was levels above him. He trains badly. Derrick James has not taught him anything.
Now you capping, bro.
He's a one trick.
And you know what else about? To say that, did you guys try to talk about the layoff thing? Wasn't Crawford stating the whole time last year that he was trying to get a fight before the end of the year, and then they said they was gonna make Spence if they were gonna make Spence and Crawford fight, they were gonna do that in early January or February, and Crawford wasn't trying to wait, which is the reason why he took the Avenesian fight. Yes, hold up. Yes, because they said. No, because they said listen to what I'm about to say. Let me finish. Now, they were saying that, November 19th, Earl was going to fight no matter what. He was going to fight whether with or without Crawford. Didn't they say that? Didn't those reports came out too? That he was going to fight regardless? So that Earl could have fought, could have done a fight with Keith right then and there? But he chose not to fight Keith? How they were pushing Keith on him this whole time?
You don't supposed to pull out the middle of negotiations when you in negotiations, bro. He snaked.
So you're supposed to take the first offer that comes to you, though.
Hold on, he ducked him.
Bro, are you supposed to take the first offer that comes to you?
Bro, you don't pull out negotiations when y'all still negotiate. What is you talking about? If we and you in the negotiation and you just leave me hanging, what the hell is that?
If you change the rules that you had agreed to, you supposed he did change the rules.
If I change
fight was supposed to happen last year, and they changed the date. I said that last year too. Last year too, that they changed the date. Once you agree to everything, and then you send an agreement and you change the date, you have no more agreement.
No, that don't.
Crawford was correct to leave them laying in the dust because they changed up on. I've always said too that it wasn't just Spence; it was also Heyman and PBC. That ain't never changed. That's never changed. So he fought David Abenizia. It was an easy fight. I said that was an easy money fight. I would never say that wasn't, because it was. The point of the matter is what you all have done with the analysis of Spence. You've given an analysis that's really excuses designed or disguised as analysis. Spence was never going to be a winner when he fought Terence Crawford. He doesn't have the skill set. He cannot beat Terence Crawford because he's not talented enough. Terence is more polished, has more skills, and just basically an overall fighter who's level above Spence. Spence can't even fight a southpaw well. Derek James can't teach him anything different. Y'all haven't seen him do anything different. And the worst thing about all of this is that the low expectations that most fight fans have had, you should have expected to see both of them look better than they ever have in their entire career.
Great.
And if you didn't, then you don't really know what you're talking about when it comes to watching a fighter. Because it was the biggest fight for both of them in their entire career. And only one man, as I said it before, did the preparations to rise to the challenge. Spence didn't. And all we getting from Spence fans basically is excuses.
Listen,
but you're disguising it
His
as
reason.
analysis.
Greg, this
Yes.
how you don't know what you're talking about.
Excuse
First
me?
of all, this how I know you don't know what you're talking about. Earl Spence fought southpaws fast, first of all. And not only that, Kell Brook was a switch hitter. What
I
about
said
that?
he didn't know how to fight them well. And I also
But you
said
don't know how to fight him well if he beat him. If he beat him and stopped him,
then he didn't beat the last one. The
Now
one
you
who was
moving the
better than him.
goalpost. Now
He
you
didn't
moving
beat
the
the one who was
goalpost.
better than him.
Now
All
you
this,
moving
he
the
wasn't
goalpost.
prepared. Something was wrong. What was wrong with him is he got broken in the negotiations. He came in, he got treated like he was the second fighter instead of the first fighter. And that's where he lost it at. Up here. That's where he lost that fight. He lost the fight up here. Now at 154, if you think suddenly Derek James is going to teach him how to do something different,
Man,
if you think because he
dudes,
got more weight, he's going to be a better fighter, you're not going to be a better fighter because you've never fought anyone like Terence Crawford before. And I've said this last year. He came in and he found why. He doesn't know how to. He doesn't have the skill set. Now we can, we're going to go back and forth. And I'm glad you're on here, D-Town, because I remember you saying that he would win. And he didn't. He didn't win any. The first round really wasn't a win. I'm being generous to say because he threw more punches. But
well, they gave it to him. They gave it to him. So it's not really. They gave it to him. So it's either he got the first round or he didn't. Which one is it?
I'm saying I'm being generous. I'm saying I'm being generous too. But
all right, so let's bring it back to speed because the viewership is increasing exponentially. And I don't want us to get too far off the topic. There's a picture. Greg, you were on the panel. Band Up, I think you were as well. People were in my chat telling me, hey, Manager Marty, Bud Crawford is just an advertiser. He's just a spokesman for Victor Conte and the snack program. And that's all he is. He just wears the logo on his trunks, and that's it. But now the truth came out. I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. You both are Terence Bud Crawford fans. I have found a picture that is on Snack's Instagram page with Devin Haney, Victor Conte, and Crawford. They're in Victor Conte's gym. They're not at Terence Crawford's gym. They are at Victor Conte's gym, the Snack Gym in California. You see that Crawford's hands is wrapped. You see him sweating. This is like an older picture, but Victor Conte and the Snack program, they actually published this on the IG channel just recently. So the point that I'm making is that you both are Terence Bud Crawford fans. I want to know what's your perception now that you realize that Terence Crawford is accepting all of the regimens, the workout programming, the calendar that Victor Conte uses, like he used in the documentary that was published the other day on Tuesday on Netflix about his life, how he basically have a scheduling for these athletes. Obviously, Crawford's using the supplements. What do you all think about this as a Terence Bud Crawford fan?
As I said before, I think it's great. I never said that this was advertising. When you asked me why would Bud do it, I said to improve. All athletes have some type of nutrition program that they're using to get the best out of their bodies, to be better whatever, whether they play football, basketball, whether they're boxing, whether they're runners, you need to get better because this is what you do for a living. You need to do everything to your body legally that you can to perform well. Now, the snack program has Victor Conte, and it's tainted it. There's nothing we can do about that. Victor, we all know what he did. We know why he went to jail. And no matter who goes over there, when they look as good as Bud did in any of their performances, what's going to happen is they're going to get accused of, well, we know he knows how to give you PEDs and mask it, but you have to mask it with the clear, if you recall. So if there are PEDs, you can find them if they're not masked, but it's not the same thing. But the point is, I think they should get better. I think anytime you're going to perform for a living like that, and you use it, especially in boxing, and you're using every muscle in your body, and you got to stay clear upstairs, that any kind of program that helps you get the best out of your body, you should use. Now, whether Victor Conte is going to always be a detriment to using the snack program, I would say probably yes, just because of his reputation. And it's too bad because the snack program, when it's used correctly, when there's no PEDs or drugs and so forth involved, could help every single solitary athlete out here. I think with the Alicia Baumgartner, I think she went outside the snack program if she was part of that because she wants to keep winning, and a lot of athletes are pressed to win at all costs, causes them to cheat. Now they get caught. So they're supposed to pay the price for getting caught for cheating. So I'm not about, even if they proved that Bud was cheating at any time, I would be, as you know, I'm a great fan, I'd be outraged about it. But unless you can say, here's the test results, or Victor Conte himself says, like he did with Shane, I watched Bud inject something, or I gave him something, I saw him take it, then all this, these accusations, I guess, from different fans and some podcasts who are stating or alluding to there's PEDs involved because we never seen them look this good. We ain't never seen them do. Well, you know what? You're supposed to expect athletes to look good every time out the box. You're supposed to expect them to look better and better and better because you're paying your money, you're giving them your time, you're giving them support. I don't want to see Bud fight the same way every fight. I want to see him do something different. I want to see him be better because he's going up in weight. I expected, I did, as you know, the first time we spoke, I expected Spence to, what did I say? He said he was going to step. I expected him to step all night if he was going to try to win. He couldn't do it, but that's the only thing he knows how to do well. And Bud, of course, watched tapes because he prepared like an athlete's supposed to. He did all of those things. So yeah, the snack program is great. I'm not against it.
Man, you don't watch Earl.
Hold on, band up. Hold on 1 second because the audience is listening to Greg, and I want to unpack a few things that he said. So, Greg, you're saying that he's supposed to improve. He's supposed to look better. We're all supposed to expect all. I need all of you to mute your. I hear a lot of feedback. Everybody, can you mute your phone? So you're saying that all fighters should be expected by the fans to look better, to look like they're in an improved condition every time they go out there. And just because Victor Conte did something with his reputation, anybody that deals with Victor Conte is always going to be highly suspicious if they perform like Crawford. So my question becomes, then why is Manager Marty? Why is Real Marlowe? Why is D-Town Boxing? I can speak for some other guys, but I'm only speaking for the guys that's here. Why are we getting criticized if he's with Victor Conte? We know Victor Conte's history. Nobody should get mad and say we're hating because, like you said, Mr. Greg, anybody that go work for him, you're going to be suspicious. And I think the second part of this is when you say that we should expect fighters to get better. I think that is true when you're looking at fighters who become prospects and then they go up to tier 1 and then they go up to tier 2 and they start getting better. But when you start getting better at 36 years old, and you haven't started getting better until you went with Victor Conte, that's going to raise even more suspicion, like it did with Manny Pacquiao and even Sugar Shane Mosley, who you alluded to. So my question becomes to you and Band Up, both of you guys are Crawford fans. Band Up, I'll let you answer first. If Crawford was about improvement, and all you both been saying is that this fight between him and Spence was tailor-made for him, Spence would never ever beat him, even in a rematch. Why did Terence Bud Crawford go over there with Victor Conte if he had everything and all the tools to beat Spence in the first place?
The kind of answer to it. One, what you said the first time. I don't really know too much about the snap Victor. Who Victor Conte is. You know what I mean? I'm learning. You know what I mean? As I'm hearing it, and if it's legit, do it. I think you should be able to use anything what's in your grasp, as long as you got, you know what I mean, you got your team looking out for you. You know what I mean? Because I am a John Jones fan. You know what I mean? And I don't know how much you guys know, but he's been having some he's had questionable history too. You know what I mean? So
you know want the fighters. Hold on, I want to be clear, Band Up. So you said you should be able to use anything in your grasp. So you don't mind?
No. I said I said as long as it's legal.
Oh, as long as it's legal. Okay.
Yeah, because that's one of the things you said. You said I'm not saying it's not legal, but you know what I mean. You're saying, but he used it. You know what I mean? So like you said, as long as it's legal, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You should be cool. It should be cool, or you know what I mean. However it's looked at, everything should be on an even field. Is what I feel for that. But I got a question. Is Earl Spence with the same? Is he? No, because it kind of leads into what you're gonna say. I'm not trying to discredit you. I'm just trying to ask for like a yes or no type thing.
No, I'm trying to wait, but hold up, man. I asked you the question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I answered your turn.
It's okay, my brother. Why did Crawford go over there with Victor Conte if he had all of the tools in his arsenal to beat Spence in the first place? There's no point of going over there, getting supplements or working out on a regimen, using his equipment at his boxing gym. Crawford has his own boxing gym, and all of us know that. There's no point of going over there with Victor Conte if
yes,
he can
it
beat
is.
Spence.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let me answer that. Let me answer. You asked two questions. You're the host of this show, right?
Yes.
And you have us come on and we express our opinions and so forth. You have some people come on and either say it directly or infer that there's some illegal activity going on with Bud Crawford, either the people that he's around or the substance that he's taking, supposedly. Now, because you are the host, the people who are coming at you and saying they're mad at you, they're really mad at you because what your guests are doing. Not because you said it, because you haven't said it as far as I know. And so I've never said you did. But your guests, some of your guests do say that. So they're just as mad as them. So basically, they're lumping you in because they're in your house saying these things about a fighter that they favor. I'm not mad at anybody who's saying this because I believe that it's not true. I don't believe for 1 minute that he's taking PEDs. The reason why he would go anywhere, come out of his gym, a great trainer who has a great athlete realizes there are limitations to even what he knows. So you get a better strength and conditioning coach. You get a better nutritionist because you don't want your guy to just be good. You don't want him even to be great if he can be magnificent. So you're going to do that. Yeah, if I was Bo Mac, I know what I can teach my man. I know what else is out there to make him even better than what he is. I want to get the very best. And if I can't give it to him, I got to find somebody else who can do the different things. Because as we know now, boxing is a team sport now. It ain't just a trainer. And I've said this before too. So yeah, I'll come out my house to get something better for me that I can win. I want to impress my fans.
But what I'm saying is, why would he go over to Victor Conte? There's Larry Wade, who's a strength and conditioning coach. There's other guys in the business who are reputable strength and conditioning coaches. And for the last 40 fights, he never went to no other strength and conditioning coach. And now all of a sudden, he's hooking up with a guy who's dealing, manufacturing, cooking, and all kind of stuff with his history of steroids, knowing the possibility of this man's reputation going to make him look bad?
2 reasons that I think he would overlook what you just said at the end. The snack program, from what I've heard, I don't take anything other than regular vitamins, is the best program that's out there. That's the first thing. The second thing is that program is the most watched and monitored federally of all the other nutritional programs that are designed to help professional athletes, because there's money involved. So he's being watched well.
Who's been? Whoa!
The snack program.
Huh?
The snack program. The snack program is being monitored by the feds. Has been so ever since it came into being, from what I understand. Now, if you're saying it's not being monitored, then something else is wrong, because how else do you find out when something is being, other than when somebody's been caught cheating? How do the feds get involved then?
Because, well, first of all, the way that happened with them the first time, there was a whistleblower. That's
Right.
number one. Number two, you got to understand the sports that they were doing that in. That was Olympics. So they have a whole agency. They have regulations. You know,
Right.
they have boxing don't have the boxing don't have an agency overlooking these type of protocols like they did in the Olympics and like they do in other sports like the MLB, etc. So Victor Conti wasn't even being watched then, and right now, nobody in the snack program is being watched as far as I know.
Victor Conti is being watched still. I'm not saying that there's a agency that's just designed for boxing that's watching them, but Victor Conti is being watched.
I don't have any evidence to that.
No, I would just use that as an example of that. What I've heard is being watched. But let's take that away, since we're in dispute on that. Let's take that part away of him being watched. It's still been said that that is the best program. Now, there's a reason why a lot of fighters, and not all fighters are not going to cheat. There's some fighters who are going to try to cheat. But that many fighters that has that high of a profile aren't still going to cheat in this day and age, where we suspect everybody of anything, where information is easily obtained these days. So it's not as easy to cheat today as it was yesterday. It's easier to find out about you cheating than it was yesterday. I'm not saying you people are still cheating, because we're still catching people cheating today. We're just catching them faster. So we can agree there. But I would not have liked the fact that he went to snack because of Victor Conti, not because of the program. I would love that if Victor Conti just sold the program to someone, give it all the protocols, and get away from it altogether, not even be associated anymore. But that's not the case. That's a pipe dream.
You said you wouldn't send Bud over there to him?
No, I said I would love him not to have been involved with Victor Conti in the program.
Right, but I'm just saying.
But I would want him to have the snack program.
Right, but I'm just saying Victor Conti is a hands-on type of guy. So it's not like he's going to hand his baby off and then turn around and run. So,
and I wish he did, but the fact of the matter, he didn't. He didn't,
and he doesn't. So you're telling me
I accept that Bud's gonna catch, just like I accepted when he made mistakes before. You made mistakes, you gotta pay your price. When he messed up in the business part of it last year, it was me who said, yeah, he didn't know what he was doing, and he did have to take the hell that came with it. So unfortunately, with this, because of Victor Conti, even though he's had a magnificent performance, the suspicion that Real Marlowe and D-Town and others are alluding to, he got to take that too.
So Bomac is his, but Bomac is his trainer.
Bomac too. Bomac got to take the hell too. Nobody gets off the hook. When you make a mistake, you pay for your mistake, even if you weren't trying to do anything.
Well, if he's
wrong.
if he's over there with Victor Conti, Mr. Greg, and you have to admit this, other people have suffered from the same mistake, like Errol Spence Jr.
And I'm saying, if you make a mistake, you pay the price.
No. What I'm saying is the decision that Matt Crawford and those guys over there made for him to go hook up over there to get the performance enhancement benefits, Errol Spence had to suffer the consequences behind that on July 29th.
What consequence did he suffer?
I mean,
Errol Spence only would suffer consequence if there was something untoward that happened over there. If
Well,
they
no, I'm
cheated,
going by. No, no,
if
no.
they
I'm
cheated,
going. No, 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 no. I'm going by this right here on your screen, Mr. Greg.
I get
I'm
what you're
going
saying.
right. I'm going by the snack program, and their words, not mine, says that the snack offer products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. That's what the snack. That's what the snack program says. So
Yeah,
we know if Bud is over there, he's benefited from all the things I just read, and the
right.
consequences of that was what happened to Errol Spence Jr. Because
And
we know
that's
that Crawford never looked like that before
and
nowhere
that
else.
goes, but that's not Earl's fault. That's Spence's fault, and that's Derek James's fault because they should have had Earl better prepared, and they didn't. They didn't
Listen,
even
it's
have a
hard
better.
to, Mr. Greg, even you know this. Let me put that back on your screen one more time. Because I know people are
Makes
watching.
no difference.
It's hard to prepare against a fighter who got the products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. Because if it wasn't, Terence Crawford and the rest of those guys wouldn't even be over there.
How long has they known this? How long have they known this? Did they
What?
just
Now he
find? They just
now he
found.
making
They
excuses.
just found out that he was in the snack program.
Who?
Did Spence just find out after this fight that Crawford was in the snack program?
I don't know, but all I do know is that we knew as the fans that he was over there in April of 2021 before he fought Sean
So
Porter.
Spence didn't know.
I don't know. I can
Okay,
assume
then.
that he did, but I don't know.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They know what Terence was doing because he was wearing all the stuff that said snack. Now,
Well, no, that's not true because
suddenly,
according to some of the fans who's been trying to grind me up, they say Terence Crawford was only wearing the paraphernalia and the clothing because he
I
was just
don't
an
care what the
advertiser.
fans. You talking to me now? What I'm
Right.
saying is, Spence. You trying to? If anybody's trying to say Spence had no idea that Crawford was in the snack program, then that's still his fault because you're supposed to know what your opponent is doing when you're preparing.
I
If
agree
you
with
don't
that.
know,
Hey, Greg.
if you don't know, you're not the professional you're supposed to be.
I agree with that, Greg. But here's the problem I'm having with that theory. As manager Marty, the problem I have with that theory as manager Marty, I haven't heard one Terence Bud Crawford fan say that the reason why Spence is going to lose is because Crawford is dealing with Victor Conte and all the benefits of the snack program. I haven't heard one person say that.
You won't hear that from me because I told you last year that Terence Crawford would beat Earl Spence easily.
Right, but I'm just saying,
and I didn't know. I'm a Crawford fan. I didn't know anything about the snack program at the time.
Yeah,
so
but I'm just saying,
I
not you
said that if I didn't already know.
But
that
Mr.
Spence
Greg
wasn't the fighter that Crawford is.
Right, but not just you, Mr. Greg. I'm talking about Crawford fans all around the world. I've been on YouTube now for 7 months, but I've been known on YouTube for a whole year, 13 months now, from July 2022,
right?
When I did an interview with YSM, and now we're still here. Marlo TV did some excerpts of that interview. Detail Boxing did as well, and the fans were grinding, detailing up in his chat. In his comment section, Real Marlo, in his comment section, they were grinding up YSM because of the things that I said. I haven't heard one Bud Crawford fan add that on their list of reasons why that he was going to beat Spence. And now all of a sudden now we're the bad guys because we're pointing out that these enhancement performance supplements helped him out a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
You're being the bad guys, not because of the snack program itself. You're being the bad guy because Victor Conte has sold illegal PEDs to athletes, and they believe. Let me tell you, they believe that what D-Town, Real Marlo, and everybody else is really saying is it's not the snack program. They believe that what you're saying is Terence is using PEDs illegal.
No. I never said that. I never said that.
I didn't say you did that. I said what they believe. I said they believe that's what you are doing.
But Greg, let's say the fans believe that that's what Marlo's saying, which I did hear Marlo say what he said earlier. But let's say the fans say that's what Marlo believed. That's what Marty believed. That's what D-Town believed. Brother, you got the whole Crawford accountable for going over there in the first place.
I just said this. He
went over there.
The fact that he was involved with Victor Conte's program, he got to take the hell from you all saying or you being suspicious of him. I get that. I get that altogether. I mean, just like if I'm hanging with somebody who robbing banks and they got money and I got money too, the inference would be, well, I must be robbing the banks too, where the case may be, I'm making money legally. I get that part. What I'm saying, however, is until there's a test that shows that Crawford took PEDs, we're going to always have this argument. Not just
I disagree. No, I disagree with that because
how is it going to change then?
Because this right here on your screen, see, we got to go back to the
that's
SNAP
legal.
program.
But that's
it don't make
legal.
no difference. It's giving him a benefit. Is what the people are saying. It's giving him benefits that nobody else is able to get. Like David Ebenezer when he got knocked out with that one punch. That's what
David Ebenezer would have got knocked out with any punch.
Well, that means he ain't need the SNAP program then.
Didn't, but he was all as far as I know. You said he started with Sean Porter, correct?
Right. He didn't need it.
So he had started preparing with Sean Porter. So if you're using a program that enhances you, and it really is just getting the best of what you already have. If you don't have, if you have skills, you got skills. There's no drug on the planet that's gonna give you skills. Now, if you're a little weaker, but you can build your muscles and be stronger, okay, you can do that. That's legal. If you need to have better cardio, that's why they have all these exercises. That's why they have all these nutriments out there. You just happen to have somebody with a program that has designed a total program that you can use. But if it's legal, see, you're arguing that because it's Victor. See, if it wasn't Victor Conte, would you all be arguing this?
No.
Man, did Bud Crawford ever fail a drug test?
Taco, let me give you the proper introduction, brother. I got you.
How you doing, Mr. Taco?
Yeah, I got you, Taco. Is and Aaron Muhammad, I see you too. It's not just because, hey, it's just Victor Conte and he went to jail. It's because even if you bring the word testing up, let's see, we got to bring the whole picture up now.
Sure.
Even if you bring the word, well, they're going to do testing. I got a clip right here I can roll the tape on where Victor Conte himself is saying in his own documentary that's on Netflix, just aired on Tuesday, where he's saying himself that he knows how to circumvent the test. He can have his fighters, and they showed it live on the Netflix. They were actually beating the test, where the test was coming back negative, even though they had these drugs in their system. So it's not just about, oh, that's just Victor Conte. No, it's about the way that he is a chemist and he's a scientist. He's very intelligent. He knows how to beat the testing. He knows how to, his words, not mine, have fighters or athletes in general taper off at a certain time, where even though the steroids or PEDs are not in their system, they'll still have the benefits inside of them. This is the guy we're talking about. I'm not knocking Conte. I'm just saying we got to call it real and deal with the facts here. And so if Crawford voluntarily went over there, regardless of his reason, this is the type of environment, thank you, Mr. Greg, you're right. This is the type of environment that he and Bomac and them guys set up for us to even have this dialogue. So I don't think nobody should be criticized for being suspicious, especially when his performance levels are changing in the last 3 fights.
You're right, and then you're also still wrong.
Hey, did he fail a drug test for illegal drugs? I'm just trying to figure out. Did Bud Crawford ever fail a drug test? Do we got that? Have he ever failed a drug test? Or are we just talking about supplements that you could find over the counter at GMC with other websites that says the same thing? So I don't know what we really or y'all just saying because because y'all just saying because the Victor Conte got caught for doping and stuff, that's the reason, because I believe that everybody deserves a second chance at life. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I agree with that. Let me answer your question like this. Has Terence Crawford ever tested VADA?
You asking me or him?
I don't know if he haven't failed a drug test. I don't know.
No, listen.
I just know he haven't failed a drug test.
Wait.
I don't know. I answered it.
Taco, I'm asking you this question because in order to pass or fail something, you got to be administered to it. So I'm asking you about the administration of it. Did Terence Bud Crawford take VADA in his fight with Sean Porter and in his fight with David Ebenezer? Let's just start there. Yes or no?
Question. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're the Crawford fan. That's why I'm asking you, brother. Huh?
Agency they use.
Your phone is. Say that again.
I think because I'm a Crawford. Hold on.
Your phone.
Just because I'm a Crawford fan. Just because I'm a Crawford fan doesn't mean I know what.
Your phone. Your phone muffled, Taco. I can't make out what you're saying. Hello?
His phone was going out. That's what he was saying.
That's that Boost Mobile. And the reason why I'm asking, yes, the reason why I'm asking Taco this question, the reason why I'm asking Taco this question is because Taco came on this panel the day before yesterday, and he was one of the guys that said to me, Rachel Donaire was here as well, that Terence Crawford is not using anything. He's not working with Victor Conte. He's just a paid advertiser. And that's the reason why I got to show this picture all over again to show everybody that this is what Victor Conte, the snack program, posted on their own IG live page, their own IG page. He's actually working out in Victor Conte's gym, and he's using the supplements and he's using the equipment. So that's the only reason why I'm asking Taco that question, the way that I am, because a lot of people don't want to agree or believe that Crawford is over there with him. Real Marlowe TV, are you still there, brother?
You there?
Yep, I'm still here.
What's your take on all of this right now, bro?
But I think, I just think what I think, man. They can defend Bud all they want to. My thing is, if he was so good, he shouldn't need him, bro. He shouldn't need Victor Conte. He shouldn't need no snack. If he got all the skills in the world, like Greg say, then he shouldn't need no extra enhancements. That's
you
what
always should get extra enhancements. We go to school, right? We go to middle school, we go to high school, then we go to college. We get the BA, we get the master's, then we get the PhD. So we keep going up. You go up. I don't care what it is that you're doing. You continue to elevate until you die if you can. Man, so this that you should just stay where you are don't make sense. Not when you're fighting.
You don't go to high school, then you go to college, and then you just all of a sudden get on drugs.
You're not on drugs. That's the whole point. Supplements aren't drugs. Supplements are not drugs.
Man, that's PED.
You're gonna have to deal with that first. Supplements are different than drugs.
That's not the same, bro.
I just said that they're not the same.
That's
Supplements
juicing.
and drugs aren't the same.
That's juicing.
But see, this is where I'm talking about. We're calling these analyses when they're actually our opinions. Some of our opinions are based on.
I told you that
if we fought before. I boxed before. I trained before. I did all those things. Probably some of these people on here have done the same thing.
I came out and I said that's my opinion, bro.
Okay, I get that. I get that. I'm just saying we're going back to that.
That's what I see. It's my analysis and my opinion, both. That's what I seen when I looked at the fight. That's what I seen. I seen something I never seen Bud do, and I seen Earl never look like he usually look.
But it's sad that y'all didn't expect to see better from both of them. That's sad if you're watching boxing.
So but guess what? I ain't get to see better of Earl. So how can I give Bud the credit I was supposed to give him if I didn't see what I wanted to see out of Earl?
If Earl was a better fighter, you may have.
If
Earl had trained better, prepared
you can't get to this level without being a top fighter. You can't call Derrick James a bad trainer, and he was able to get Jermell Charlo and Earl Spence to the level he got them.
You can call him a bad trainer. If he couldn't,
hold on, Greg. Let him talk. Let him finish, Greg.
I'm sorry, Marlo. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard Greg say that Derrick James was a horrible trainer. He ain't teaching, man. You can't get this far. You can't get this far in his career and life and the things he was able to accomplish to get those 3 belts. It's almost like All right, you saying Derrick James a trash trainer? Well, you might as well say Sean Porter a trash fighter. You might as well say Kell Brook was a trash fighter. Danny Garcia was a trash fighter. I mean, Danny Garcia accomplished more at 140 than Terence Crawford accomplished. He fought better competition at 140 than Bud. So with
Let
you
me
saying
restate
Derrick
that.
James is a trash trainer, you saying everybody
I didn't
else
say
fought.
trash. I said he was a terrible trainer for this fight. That's what I meant. Let me restate that.
That's
When
what you
you
meant.
don't
That's
teach,
what
when
you
you don't teach, because Derrick James has said he's a teacher as well as a trainer. Those are his words. When you don't teach your fighter to do more than what he does every fight, and you gotten used to him winning the same way, doing basically the same things, then you fail
I
when
never
that
seen
big fight
Earl
comes.
Spence do this. I never
Did
seen
y'all see? Did y'all see Terence
Greg,
do
hold on,
any?
Greg.
Did y'all see?
Greg. I never seen Earl Spence doing the same thing in his last every 5 fights. You can say I ain't see him doing the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Coming forward
See,
and
that's how
throwing
you're
volume
not looking
punches?
at the levels and different way he was beating these guys to say that he was doing the same thing. That's misinformation, bro. He
That's
wasn't
how it
doing this.
looks. I gotta just like you see Spence differently than I do. Same thing applies to how you see Crawford. I
So
see Spence doing basically, for the most part, what he does well. What he does well is come forward, apply pressure behind his jab, throwing volume punches. That's the one trick he has. It's similar to how, let's say, Wilder is just power. He's never developed a great delivery system.
man, you
So,
talk.
Well,
You
I'll
talk.
tell you what, Greg.
yeah.
Go ahead, Mark. I want to say something. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let him finish.
Greg talking crazy, man. You must not be watching Earl, bro. So do you see the way Earl Spence beat Ugas? Is that the same performance Earl beat Danny Garcia?
No.
So what do you
But he kept coming forward. That's what I'm saying. He's the one trick pony. That's the thing that he
coming
uses
forward
mostly.
is not
But
being
that's all he
pony.
he can't fight very well from the outside.
How when he beat Danny like that? What are you talking
I
about?
said very well. You
That's
can do.
very well. You
I'm
have to
not
be.
saying he's one. I'm not saying every single one of his fights have been the same, but I'm saying that's the one trick that he has that really got him to where he is.
That's
I'm
not a
not saying.
trick.
I mean,
That's
even
a skill
even
set.
Crawford has just boxed and won and hasn't knocked his opponent out.
No, bro.
But again, Earl does not have the talent or skills that Crawford has. Now you can say that's not true, and I'm gonna say it is true. But today, what all of you all are saying basically right now is the only reason that Crawford beat Earl Spence is because Earl was something wrong with him, and Crawford allegedly cheated. Not all of you are saying it, but those are the things you're saying overall to Spence fans. No one is saying Crawford was a better fighter. Crawford was a better puncher. Crawford did all the things Earl did not do. You're only saying something is wrong with Earl. What was wrong with Earl is that Crawford got in his head early before the fight ever happened. He beat him upstairs first. This is almost the same thing that Ray Leonard did to Hagler. He got in Hagler's head before the fight ever took place because you saw how Hagler came out. Hagler did better than Earl, of course. The point was Ray didn't even have the punching power that Hagler had and still couldn't beat him because he got outsmarted because Ray was in his head. Terence was in Spence's head the moment Spence came out to go to the ring. Spence was already done.
Greg, did you see
psychologically?
Did you see
Say it again now?
Did you see Terence Crawford gloves busted in the amnesia?
Yeah. So are you saying you know that the officials have the gloves wrapped in plastic before they get the gloves to fight that night, right?
What officials?
So
they fought on
boxing officials, man.
You know what platform? You know what platform they fought on?
BLK Prime. You
So
talking about Abinesi's
fight,
right?
He was able to do different things that he not usually. I think he was testing out the PEDs.
See,
this
is what I mean.
This is what I mean. He was testing out the PEDs.
But see, we gonna always.
So if
Greg, let me get these
be back and forth.
Crawford in the rematch, what then? What?
So are you say it again now? If the rematch,
you expect for Terence Crawford to basically whoop Earl the second?
I expect Terence Crawford to whoop Earl Spence's behind at
So
154, at 160, and if they go to 168 together, I expect that too. The only thing that's going to be different is they're gonna wait. They're gonna weigh a little bit more.
Okay, we'll see then.
This is about skills.
Let me get.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. Let me get these super chats real quick. Holiday, thank you for your support, your contribution, and your super sticker. And I'm sorry for my tardiness on that. 2 Cents Boxing, he also gave a super chat, and it was when Band Up was up here, and he basically said, "You ain't gotta yell, bruh." Thank you, 2 Cents Boxing, for your contribution and your support. Ted Bundy 226, not the real Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy 226, unless this person's name is really Ted Bundy. So Ted Bundy 226, thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Says these words: Victor Conti helped Marion Jones, Barry Bonds, and Lance Armstrong succeed in their respective sport. That's who Victor Conti is. Thank you, Ted, for that one. And then we have Al Darrow says, thank you, Marty. Crawford delayed the fight to cycle off, in my opinion. His approach to this fight on all levels was masterful, including in the ring. He never had the results in any fights he had July the 29th. And that was from Al. Thank you for your support and contribution, Al. Mr. Muhammad, I want to ask you a question because Gregory's basically saying that it didn't matter what Spence came in the ring, 100% Spence, 50% Spence, or 0% Spence. Crawford had more skills than him. He was going to beat him regardless. My question to you, Aaron Muhammad, if that is the truth, why would Crawford need to go to Victor Conti in the first place if this was going to be a whitewash and easy fight for him?
Well, that's a question that I think both sides need to at least consider and attempt to answer, meaning that as a Spence fan, I think that's a question that should be asked. And as a Bud fan, because one of the things I said earlier in the chat, based on how convincingly Bud Crawford won this fight, I'm going to say it just like this. If Errol would have won the fight that convincingly against Bud, I'm still asking some questions.
Me too.
Because
me too.
It was portrayed to be a 50-50 fight from the beginning. I personally never really bought into the 50-50, just based on some things I see from both fighters. Now, my observation has been just the work rate. I think you and I, Manager Marty, probably agreed on that. And that doesn't equate to a win, but I expected to see a much busier Errol Spence in the ring. And for whatever reason, we didn't see that. But what I'm getting a little irritated with from both sides also is the fact that the first question you had and you did a live on was both fighters looking different. So obviously there's a level of dishonesty on what we witnessed and what we saw. Now I want to address something else that was said. Real Marlowe mentioned something that I think a lot of people might be afraid to go ahead and say, and I don't want to. I'm not going to necessarily say I believe Bud was cheating. I see something a little bit bigger than I think everybody might be considering. I think Bud is being advised by somebody who does not like the fact that Bud is now his own boss, and that he was able to command a lot of money from a fight that, again, we all agree on this, was this close to not happening. So the fact that the fight was prolonged, I don't want to say that was Bud's plan by himself. I think he was advised to do that. Did it give him an advantage? Absolutely. But I think as a fighter, Bud Crawford wanted to fight Errol and win. And I think Errol Spence wanted to fight and win and become undisputed. But I think there's some other things that we might be overlooking because there's so much emotion involved in this fight. So I'm going to say it this way. What if there's somebody that sees the success of Showtime, they see the success of Al Heyman, they can't stop that success in a natural way. If you understand, I hope I'm making sense.
I know where you're
So
going.
if Bud Crawford can come and derail or disrupt some of the success of Showtime and the PBC, not because that's what he wants to do, but can I like a Trojan horse, can I send this great fighter into to the PBC camp who's not a real PBC fighter? He's under contract. He's officially on their roster. But if I can get Bud Crawford, a terrific fighter, to go in and maybe upset the balance of what PBC has going on or what Showtime has going on. Because one of the things I want to definitely point out, Manager Martin, I'm going to try to be as quick with this as I can. Bud just recently came out and said and admitted that one of the very things that I said from the beginning concerning how he was going to earn his money and get paid, which we know traditionally Bud Crawford received guarantees when he was with ESPN, or I'm sorry, when he was with Top Rank and ESPN. Bud Crawford had a reluctancy with signing this fight because I don't believe he understood, one, how much money he could make and how he could make it without getting money up front. Now that he's done this, he just recently came out and admitted that, you know what, y'all were saying certain things about how, this money, and y'all were right. In taking a guarantee, Bud Crawford just cost himself quite a bit of money. He made a lot of money, but he could have made a lot more. So what I've been saying all along about the reluctance to sign that deal and that he was ducking not necessarily out of fear for what's going to happen in that ring. Bud Crawford ducked that fight in the beginning because he did not see that he was going to get compensated on what he saw in his own value. Right? Now that that's happened, I think he says, well, man, why did all these other people tell me that some of them were ex-PBC fighters, right? Why did they all tell me that there was going to be a problem with me getting paid? I need to watch, how the money's going to be dispersed. I need to probably get more control on the expenses than I deserve. Control, not transparency. He had transparency from the minute they sat down to the table. But see, there's a lot of this background noise that I'm still hearing. Somebody in the chat said it a while ago. Why would he take a bad deal? Who said it was a bad deal? See, y'all wanted to make sure that if Bud didn't get a guarantee in this fight, that he should have and could have, and he did, walk away and take another fight. He comes back with a determined amount of time or a certain amount of time that it passed. But now we know that Errol went way too far on giving up his A-side benefits. If, in fact, now I want to finish with this, Manager Marty, because you asked a very important question. Victor Conti contacted Errol Spence, or attempted to make contact with Errol Spence concerning VADA testing, right? He never, and this is my opinion, I don't think he was doing that out of concern if there was going to be something found on Errol Spence's side. I don't think he was doing that necessarily to say, hey, well, man, Bud might test positive for something either. I think that was a cloud. He cast a cloud over the whole fight. So if somebody comes up negative or positive in whether, let's say Errol came up positive, what light does that cast over the PBC now and Showtime? Just think about what I'm saying. I just wanted to put that out there, man. Since we're putting everything out there, let's go a little bit further with it. I think that would have done tremendous. It has the potential to do tremendous damage, whether it's Errol or Bud, if one of them were to test positive. We don't even know if there was testing, so we can't go too far with saying, somebody's dirty. But just, I want us to look at that scenario, man, because if we don't believe or think that there is an outright attack on the PBC and on Showtime, not personally, but for their success, that business is competitive on both sides. It's competitive in the ring. It's competitive on the negotiations. It's competitive by the promoters and these networks. We got to look at this. We got to look at the bigger picture. So, just something to think about, Manager Money. I hope I didn't get anybody confused with what I'm saying.
I agree with a lot of what he said. There's a lot of what he said has happened in different kind of ways. So you go way back too. So I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I agree with some of what you've said about that in terms of the bigger picture. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I just didn't want to get that complex.
I know.
No, not for my purposes.
Yeah.
But it's just like I want to know why Crawford go over there with Victor Conte. I mean,
well, remember this. I'm sorry.
Because him going over there is why we're having this conversation, whether it be voluntarily or involuntarily, huh?
Your show is about education.
That's
right?
correct.
So
yes.
What the fans are learning is fighters have to pay attention to everything that they do, because you had a fighter that had a great fight, has great talent, but now there's the specter hanging over his head because he wanted to get better. He didn't do anything illegal, but he did it with somebody who has done illegal stuff. And now it's kind of an asterisk. There's a smear that's there about how he won. So now we almost have to wait for the rematch at the higher weight class that the other fighter probably wanted to fight in the first place. So we have to wait for that to happen. Now, if that happens and it goes Spence's way, which I'm telling you it won't, but if it goes that way, then we'll say, see, we know something. So either way, your education of having different opinions come on, and the people who are listening we're now paying more attention to looking at what everything, because that, just like we talk about Spence's lifestyle when it was, more and more people are now paying attention to that from other fighters as well. So you are still educating, even though I know you didn't want to go too far out there with, the different things we're talking about, but it's still about the education. So that's what we're concluding right here from me. The conclusion that I'm getting is, regardless of what we say, there's a cloud, a little small cloud that has to be resolved in the rematch, which, I think the rematch, as I said before, should not happen in December, because I think Spence is very hurt and just don't realize it yet. And it'll probably go into early next year anyway, but we'll see.
Right. Well, I'm not saying, me personally, and I don't know what everybody else is saying. I am not saying it's because of his performance just in this fight. Once again, he got with Victor Conte for 3 fights.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually looking at the performance of all of those 3 fights where he was with Victor, including and not limited to the David Evanesian fight, because none of us seen Terence Crawford in the welterweight division, or 140 to be exact, but definitely the 147-pound division, at his age, knock anybody out with 1 punch and knock them out unconscious. And
modern science has done that.
Huh?
I said modern science and all these new nutritioning ways of being more healthier at an older age, because Roy Jones still has some of that. Tarver definitely has some of that hanging over his head. Trinidad the same way. So a lot of what we've seen develop over the years of fighting, we've also seen things like nutrition and drug testing, or drugs, also come into the mix. But we also have shows like this and the internet that quickly examines it. And all of us come on, and, we take our experiences from when we did what we did, as well as with life, and we interject this into the whole spectrum and the whole conversation about boxing. And so here we are, instead of celebrating, we're discussing a fight that was 2 weeks ago, about all the things that may have been even before that fight, because you just said you're looking at his performance in the last 3 fights. So now there's the question: So
yep.
we're gonna be debating, and that's great for a debate because we'll get to know how each other think. But your audience is now learning too.
Absolutely.
I
That's what
love
this whole
Shani
thing is
who
about.
came on, by the way. I want to just put that in there. I love the fact that she came on and she was allowed to speak.
Absolutely.
So this helps your show, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it
That's
helps
why I
your
did
show
it.
tremendously because I'll say it every time I'm on, and this is not to cuddle you or anything, but you're doing what nobody else is doing.
Appreciate that, my
It's just
brother.
that fact. How you doing, Mr. Mohammed? Nice to see you again.
Yes, sir. My pleasure, Mr. Gregory.
Yes.
I want to read this comment, and I'm going to let the audience go because even Real Marlowe, thanks to Real Marlowe too, he stuck it out with me for
Salute.
hours. So I have to salute that brother for real.
Yes, sir.
My friend Christy says something, and I want to read it because I think this is as equally as important since we're talking about snack and supplements, etc. Professional athletes don't and should not take supplements from GNC or those types of stores because they have filters in them. They have to be NSF certified, or they should be. If not, it's suspect. And we know that the snack program and the products of snack, which you can go online and look, they are not NSF certified. So I'm not saying that to knock Victor. I'm just saying in general that this is the realities of where we are when fighters do take supplements, and vitamins, etc. And one of the things I said the other day on this channel was it might not be the supplements that fighters take that's over the counter. It might be the ingredients or some of the ingredients in that supplement that's on the banned substance list. And a lot of fighters don't know. So when they get popped, they're like, all I did was take, and they don't realize the ingredients in it is one of the things that'll get them a positive test.
You know, Manager Martin, that's why I said I believe that Bud is being advised by somebody that he really trusts, because I've seen that happen where an athlete was found or tested positive for something that he was advised was not even something illegal or even questionable. That's happened within the last 5 or 6 years several times, especially in NFL. I've heard guys say, "Hey, man, there's no way I would have taken something that I thought would get me in some trouble, but I was advised that it was okay." Now that may sound like a cop out, but I just don't believe that an athlete at the top of their game is trying to do something that they've already seen other people get in trouble for.
Right.
I do.
So,
I
well,
do, Aaron
well,
Muhammad.
well, let me say this. Let me say
I
this,
do.
Manager Martin. Again, but see, it goes. The reason I said advisory and trust, because if you can coerce somebody that, hey, man, yeah, I know this might be a little shady looking. Hey, but don't worry about it. If something happens, I got your back. See, you can't get somebody to do something unless they trust your word. So if you advise somebody and they know it might be, but Mr. Gregory said something that I don't think we pay enough attention to. There's no way Bud doesn't know that there was going to be certain things that were going to be questioned with his association with the Victor Conte, with his association with Daniel Kinahan. And one thing that I think we all remember, one of the things that I know for a fact Al Heyman said in the beginning of these negotiations, he wanted to make sure that there was no Daniel Kinahan anywhere around involved in this fight. Now I can't say that that didn't happen, meaning that he still had some influence. None of us can actually say that.
Right.
But what we can say, there's still enough association on Bud's part with certain questionable people and things. And like you said, Mr. Gregory, see, he has to understand he's got to go through that fire, because he made the decision to make that look okay, and it does not look okay.
Yeah, that looks bad, and it's unfortunate because he's gone through hell already from the internet because of the negotiations. So to have to now go through it again after he had this great win, it's to me it's rather sad. I think the only solution, I guess, would be is that athletes are just not allowed to take supplements at all.
Marlo, Right, I agree.
Yeah, just you can't take nothing. You just got to drink water and lift weights and run and stretch. You can't take anything.
Yes, sir.
Marlo, you was gonna say something, Marlo?
Yeah, I actually think Earl took more flack for the fight not happening than Terence Crawford did. So I think Earl wanted to get the fight made so bad, and Terence Crawford used his desire for even wanting to fight that bad against him. And
No doubt.
I think I agree with Muhammad on the case that he was advised, but I think he was with the advised. I think he coincided with whoever advised. He wanted it to happen. So that was the only way he was going to allow the fight to happen, and it all makes sense for the way he dragged the fight out for as long as he did. I mean, you can't keep a man out the ring 15, 16 months. You beat him and then be like, shut up, no excuses. Shut up, no excuses. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Stop acting like he didn't strategically do what he did.
I don't think Terrence was that smart at the time.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think he was that smart at the
Terence
time.
Crawford is not dumb at all.
No, I don't think
No,
he's
he's not
dumb.
dumb.
No, I'm
He-
not saying he's dumb. I don't think he was that smart where he orchestrated all of this. I tend to lean more toward Mr. Muhammad and even my thinking that there was somebody who's a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser.
That's what I'm saying.
So who knew the roads.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think
also,
Terrence was that smart to come up with that on his own.
But you can't say it was somebody. See, I don't believe that whoever that was advising Terrence Crawford was just like the puppet master, and Bud didn't have no clue. He knew what was going on. He was with it.
Had to be somebody you trust.
When somebody is showing you, though, you can be with it, but you don't know how to get with it. Somebody got to show you.
But if you with it, you with it. And you don't
well, I mean, those kind of negotiations are always kind of murky and messy because we're in the sport of boxing. There's a whole lot of stuff that is taking place that still exists now. That's from way back in the 40s. There's people who shouldn't even be near boxing. That fingers are somewhere and still in there. So we have to accept that some of these things.
But now we're doing a whole.
I know.
This is my thing. We're doing a whole lot of speculations.
Yeah.
Of maybe it was this and it was this. The man is almost 40 years old. And if somebody come to you and say, I got this, you want to get with this, pay me this, and you say yes, you down with it. And that's the bottom line. I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, well, maybe it was somebody else. Because guess what? It might be true. It might be a conspiracy against Showtime and PBC. But we can't go that far to speculate it if the man is over there with Victor Conte. It's like, wait a minute, like you over there with him of all people, knowing the backlash. It ain't no different than what I said in my reference to Shanti and everybody else the other day. If R. Kelly comes out of jail, even if he showed me he's a Christian and he changed his life around, and show me a contract from Sony Music and BMG that he got a $1.5 billion contract with them, my daughters will not record no music with this guy. And that's just the bottom line. I don't need nobody to coerce me to believe or convince me to believe otherwise.
Some people
do.
Some people would.
Right. But when we look at Bud Crawford, we can't just say that he's with Victor Conte. He didn't know nothing. Everybody.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he was what I believe is, in spite of what Victor Conte was convicted for and how it was going to affect him, he still felt he could still do this if he didn't do anything wrong. But he did look at even
I don't know. I'm not speculating if he do. I'm not doing that, Mr. Greg.
See, I don't believe he didn't do anything wrong.
You only doing that, Mr. Greg.
And that's where we disagreeing again.
Because you're doing that.
You believe he did something wrong by going there.
Everybody knows that.
I don't think it was smart. I don't think it was very smart because of Victor Conte. But I don't think he in any way. Oh, I can cheat. Let me go over here. You don't have
I can't be in his mind to tell you what his thought process.
But that's what you're saying, though.
I'm not saying what was in that man's mind. I'm going by his actions. See, we got to go by what he did. I can't go and assume.
You got to think it first before you take action.
I agree, but I can't assume what he was thinking before the action. All I can look at is the action that he over there, and he using the equipment and the supplements, and it's benefiting him. See, if he was over there, Mr. Greg, hold on, I'll answer the question.
Okay.
I can see if he went over there in the last 3 fights and none of it benefited him. My whole argument would be get a refund, Terence Crawford, because you shouldn't be over there. You need your money back. This product is a farce. Oh, but the benefits of the snack program, they work. It don't make no difference.
Great,
they work
because it bring out the best in fighters or athletes, I should say.
But you didn't add that.
You got to have it.
But Greg, you didn't add this on your list of reasons why he would be.
Because I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
But I said I didn't know. I knew about his skill set, and I said that. This is long before any of this came up. I said it would be so easily.
But Crawford making you look bad because you said it was just his skill set. But his action showed you he needed some enhancement.
Yes.
He needed some enhancement.
I got to argue with Mr. Marlowe and D-Town and everybody else who gonna come at me. But I'm standing strong where I'm gonna be at.
I feel like, Mr. Greg, you hear me? You said it was just his skill set that was gonna beat him. But even he didn't agree with you, and he ran over there and get them enhancements. I love the snack program. I want
you saw the skills. Over there. Tell me you ain't see the skills. Tell me you didn't see the skills.
Hey man, listen, man. I would never sit up here and say
put my hands up.
Crawford can fight. What I'm saying is because you got the skills, that should tell you don't go over there with them. You don't need them. You got 35, 36, 37 fights without them, without that supplement. You don't need it.
Now he was also training in wrestling, right?
Who?
Crawford.
Yeah, he was a wrestler. Yeah, of course.
No, not when he was in high school. For this fight, there's film showing him training to wrestle.
Oh, I don't know. I just saw the film with him training at the snack program building. That's what I got.
What I'm trying to say is,
over there, bro.
It was a combination of all the things that he was doing. It wasn't just the snack program.
Oh, but
you gotta look at the whole package. Because I said he prepared better. He prepared better. Spence did not prepare anywhere near what he should have.
I'm not saying he did. What I'm saying is Crawford got 38 fights as a world champion. He went this far with whatever he and Bomac was doing. That was way better than Spence's conditioning and preparation, as you put it. So he don't need to go over there with this guy. So that's all I'm saying. Why go over there with this guy?
Didn't I just say the guy itself is the problem? Because everybody got to change at some point in their career. They got to turn something more. It's the guy. It's Victor Conte that's the problem here.
Go ahead, Marlo, and then Muhammad. Go ahead, Marlo.
I feel like Terence Crawford, he was willing to risk the speculation. He didn't mind the speculation because he felt like the win will overshadow the speculation. Like he felt like if he win, I mean, who cares about if I was working with Victor Conte? It's about the amount of people. When he go in the Breakfast Club don't care nothing about Victor Conte. He go to these different media sites to help build his brand after the fight, doing his media run. I mean, nobody cares about Victor Conte, so he just knew that it would overshadow the speculation of him working with them. Like
not on the internet, it does. Not today, not in today's world. But I understand what you're saying, Mr. Marlowe. Yeah, I could see an argument for that. But in today's world, no, because we are, and if we're doing it, boxing podcasters are doing the exact same thing. Asking the questions, they're doing exactly. So in today's world, no. But I nobody should be.
And nobody should be criticized, including me. Neither should Marlowe TV. Nobody should be criticized, and I should be called a hater. But we know the Bud fans are still going to call me a hater.
Keep on educating, and they'll stop calling you a hater.
Oh, no, Mr. Greg. Yeah. I want them to call me a hater. I love when the viewership increases exponentially, brother.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Okay. I get that too. I'd rather you be an educator than someone who's called a hater, though.
Yeah, I like.
That's why I say I like what you're doing. And Mr. Marlowe, I've never been on your channel before. I'd like to come on one day if I could.
Okay, come through, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I want to talk to all you young guys because y'all got to get some of the wisdom from the older guys who was around the fight game in the earlier days to couple with the stuff that y'all have.
That's right.
More complete. You'll be not a fighter, but a more complete podcaster about this sport.
Come through.
Okay.
No, welcome. I welcome all Terence Crawford fans, even if they talking just like Marty said. I want them to call me a hater. I like it.
Well, I ain't gonna call you no hater. That's not how I work. No, I don't call nobody no hater. If we have a difference of opinion, I'll tell you why I see it this way. I may challenge you on yours. You may challenge me on mine, but I'm never gonna call you a hater.
One thing I disagree with is people saying that Earl Spence shouldn't take the rematch immediately. I think Earl Spence should, these guys is used to being in a sparring, taking black eyes, broken ribs, different things like that. So they's not like the average person. Just because you get beat up once or twice or whatever the case doesn't cause for you. Oh, I ain't gonna fight Bud till next year. Like what? Like
I see that, but I keep looking at how many times he got hit on the side of his head and on the temple. That's what I'm more concerned about when I say there should be a little more time to clear up.
I feel like Earl Spence team. I think he got a great team, regardless of people saying Derrick James trash and this and this and that. I mean, they wasn't calling Derrick James trash when he was running around getting the ESPYs award for best trainer of the year. So they waited to the downfall till it was okay, till it was popular, till multiple people were saying that, like your man Antonio Tarver after the fight saying that Derrick James wasn't trainer of the year, this and this and that. So, people didn't start saying that till it was cool to say that. And that's how people is. They can't wait. They won't stand alone and say it on their own when everybody looking at them like, oh, he the trainer of the year, that people wasn't saying it in. So I think they're going to make a great comeback and they're going to dog Terence Crawford. And then you're going to get Terence Crawford fans turning around saying, hey, man, we need a rematch. Or they're going to be saying that, which I would gladly like another one so Earl can dog them again. But they going to have a lot of things to say like Bud wasn't supposed to be at 154, this and this and that, or whatever after Earl whoop on Bud.
That's when I'm going to come on your show, Mr. Marlowe, after the rematch takes place. So we can talk about it then. But I see what you – now, I do feel, and I said it, that Derrick James failed Spence in this fight. I said nothing about the fights before then. I didn't say he was a trash trainer. I said he failed him in this fight. I believe that wholeheartedly. Now, sometimes you can have a moment or some moments when things happen in training or things happen emotionally or whatever, where you just don't do everything you're supposed to do for the people you're responsible for. That was his failure. And I also think he was failing Terence during the fight because you got to see how many times he was being hit in the head and the temple and how easy he was being hit and how hard. You got to realize maybe we need to stop right here to live another day. So I could be wrong. Let's see what happens when December comes, if that fight is made or for some reason it has to be pushed further up or further back, if you will.
I think another thing is going to do Earl Spence justice. Earl Spence going back in rematch with Terence Crawford in December because this would be the first time in a long time that he's been in the ring back to back like that. A lot of guys during his career try to keep him out the ring. Because Crawford didn't do nothing different than what Danny Garcia and Sean Porter and all them conspired to do with Earl Spence before. Like playing ring around a rosy, fighting each other, trying to keep Earl Spence from getting the shot, to keep him out the ring. Like Earl Spence had a long layoff before he can even get the shot at Kell Brook. And then he had a long layoff trying to fight Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. Like these guys all did the same thing. Terence Crawford just did it more longer and better.
Say that again. The last word.
longer and better at juicing.
Oh, see, you slipped that in.
Hey,
you
guys.
slipped that one in.
Hey, I'm going to get these last 2 super chats. Muhammad, I'm going to let you end it because I was waiting for you to still talk. I'm glad you guys came on. This was a fire show. The chat was on fire. We had our first lady of all time come up here on the panel for the first time. That was decent.
Sure.
We had different perspectives. This was a great, great live. We got Money Magic. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Again, Money Magic says, Manager Marty is still broadcasting 3 hours later. Respect, bro. I know. And 2 Cents Boxing made a great, great point because I heard both Mr. Greg and even Muhammad even say that maybe he was just taking orders because he trusted someone who was of a higher status than him to crash down PBC and Showtime. But 2 Cents Boxing made an interesting point, and I thank you for your support and your contribution. 2 Cents Boxing says, Bud said himself, he is the puppet master.
I love that, though. I love what he just said.
He did say
He
that.
did say it.
He did
That is
say
so
that.
cool. If you
So,
can do that in this sport, shoot, Mr. Mohammed, you know, if you can
Mr.
pull the
Muhammad,
strings.
yes, sir. Mr. Muhammad, 30 seconds is on you. Then Mr. Greg. Then my man's going to end it out. Mr. Real Marlowe's going to end this out. But Muhammad, you got 30 seconds. Give us your last words, my brother.
Yeah, I just want to issue a challenge to Bud fans to do one thing, and that is to let him know that it's okay for him not to be associated with folks who will make him look suspicious. And I heard a brother say in the chat that everybody deserves a second chance. He was referring to Victor Conte. But my experience with people when they go to prison, they don't get rehabilitated. They become better criminals. So if I was a Bud fan, what I would tell Bud, you need to disassociate yourself from people who are going to bring questions to your skill, because your skill stands over here by itself. Same thing with a Tom Brady. Why, if you the best there ever was, what you need this for, bro? That stay over there. You work off your skill so that you can remain respected in the sport. That's all I got.
Oh, man, good point. And I totally have to agree with that one. And that's all I've been trying to say this whole entire time. So thank you so much, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad. Look forward to seeing you again when I go live again, my brother.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Salute to you. Mr. Greg, thank you for joining us. 30 seconds. Last words is on you, my brother.
I agree with a lot of what Mr. Mohammed just said. I would say to Bud, too, as an avid fan, that continue to be the fighter that you are, but rid yourself, again, of anything that's going to put a stain on your legacy where you're going to be questioned, because you're going to eventually have fans like myself who will examine and will not give you any cut card. If you're cheating, I'm going to be the first one who going to be out there saying you disappointed me, I don't believe anything, etc. And you don't need that, because your talent is too great for anyone to be doing that who is a fan of yours. I hope they do the rematch. Now we don't put ourselves out there again for you. Okay? So do what you're supposed to do, because I expect you to look even better at 154. That's my expectation, because I'm going to be spending the money for pay-per-view like everybody else, unless I come to the fight and get to sit with Marty and have a cognac with him. And Mr. Marlowe, after that fight happens, I will definitely, if I'm welcome, we'll come onto your show. That's it for me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Greg. You're more than welcome anytime to come on the panel, and I know how you are in the chat, my brother, and the contributions. Thank you so much for your wisdom, and I look forward to seeing you come back on the panel as well.
Okay, thank you.
Salute, my brother. Real Marlowe, this is the first time you've been up here. I think we made history, sir. We had hundreds of people, probably 1,000 people watching us live and living color, and I noticed that our personalities on camera is really, really good. Real Marlowe. I can't wait, brother. You know me. If you go live, brother, you do your thing on your live, I'll come on there anytime. And I always watch your content. Ever since you put my name in your title and helped make me famous before I got here, I always try to salute you, man, and acknowledge you. And I appreciate your support. And even the fact that you were able to interpret the things I was saying in the interview that made too much sense where people was criticizing me, you understood exactly what I was saying. So I appreciate you coming on the panel, my brother. I'm going to let you close the whole show out, my brother. You get more than 30 seconds, whatever you want to say, it's all on you.
Appreciate it, my big brother. Manager Marty let me on, man. When I first watched his interview, man, I knew he knew what he was talking about. And I knew he could do this YouTube thing and dominate, be big at it. Like, I seen it from the get-go. So, last thing I'm going to say to clear up one thing about Derrick James. Derrick James is a great trainer. Always have been, still is. He was giving Earl Spence great advice in that corner. But Earl Spence, due to whatever that was wrong with him, without me actually putting a finger on it, couldn't perform how he needed to perform. But Derrick James was giving him the advice he needed. So it ain't never no slack on Derrick James or Earl Spence, because we're going to be back in the rematch and we still going to get that eyeball. We're going to take Terence Crawford eyeball and we're going to break his face. We got to do him worse than what he did Earl. We got to get them memes back. And to piggyback off what Muhammad said, once a cheater, always a cheater. They just get better at not getting caught. And everybody hit that like button before y'all get up out of here. Appreciate y'all for coming through my big bro manager Marty channel. And thanks for letting me on, Marty.
Salute, my brother, anytime.